How many times now have you been to space?
Twice.
How much is the New World Order paying you to lie about going to space twice?
Is that your next move? Can you do Jurassic Park?
Yeah,
you have the
better.
jets. Start Jurassic Park.
Most people generally agree it is rather unsettling because everything you're looking at is trying to kill you.
The Goldilocks zone, you'll have, Earth.
This motherfucker watched 2 documentaries and is trying to gaslight us. And you're just trying to impress the wizard, man.
No, dude,
No,
this is
this
like,
is-
I love this shit.
Say hi to Eli. He's racially ambiguous. And Brandon, his hair is fucking fabulous. And Donut, a dark joke disposition. And there's a fat electrician. Welcome to Unsubscribe.
Hey, what is up, everyone? I just want to do a quick stop and be like, hey, thank you guys so freaking much. Veterans Month is coming to a close after next week, so we're gonna just go all out to raise as much money to donate. We're adding one more thing. 100% of the profits will be going towards those nonprofits. We're selling the tour poster, and 100% of these and this will be going towards those amazing charities. Also, just a really big shout out to Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel is donating $5,000 every day for the month of November. I am choosing the boot campaign for that $5,000, and I told them this is from the entire Unsub community, and then we are super thankful. So giant shout out to Cracker Barrel for doing that. Finally, next week is Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Y'all know what that means. So much money will be spent. But we have some amazing deals going on for all our brands. Like what deals? Pepperbox, buy 1 month, get 2 for free. Echelon, buy 2 cases, get 1 free. Unsub, everything's gonna be like 20 to 30% off over at Bucker on our store. Y'all are amazing. Enjoy this episode. Keep kicking ass, keep taking names. And Merry Thanksgiving. Happy Thanks.
Oh, man.
Oh, I'll do the ready. On the count of 3, you will pop the tub. 3, 2, 1.
A little premature over there.
Don't worry about me. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Unsubscribed podcast. I'm joined today by Eli Doubletap, Senator Tim Sheehy. I'm going to fuck this up, right?
It's Sheehy, like
Sheehy,
the pronouns.
Sheehy. God
he, she.
damn it.
Yeah, I was a he, she way before it was cool to be bold.
Me.
Yeah.
You're
right.
fired.
Jared
Didn't even get through
Isaacman.
the intro. You screwed it up in the intro. I mean, and this guy's a professional. I don't know.
I thought it was a
This is just be shit
Until I
talking
met
for an
you.
hour and a half.
All right, Mr. fucking Ranger Navy SEAL pilot. All right. Jared Isaacman, Brandon Herrera, myself, Donut Operator. Thank you so much for being here today.
I know what you're thinking. What's with this backdrop? Well, Jared gave us a new hanger. It's crazy. We shook on it.
I was going to say, before anybody on the podcast comments accuses this of being a green screen,
The jet blows
it's
up.
real.
It's like, oh, that's on
explodes.
Brandon. That was on Brandon's time, not on ours. Brandon's in servitude forever. 5 generations of Herrera's working for you.
Congratulations, you have Mexican indentured servants.
We had a day thanks to Jared. We got to do some. We got to fly in some jets, and now we're hanging out drinking. Brother, holy shit, this is wild. First off, and then I have like a million questions that have been holding on to. You have. Guys and gals, this, and then there's a Star Wars cantina on the 2nd floor.
I thought Brandon was fucking with me when he said that Jared had a cantina.
No, we
It's
got
a
a great
real-
bar.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I think, okay, cool. He's got some Star Wars posters on the wall. No, it is the cantina from fucking Star Wars. It's awesome.
And again, this is like you go to Disneyland to see, or Disney World to see this level of cantina.
Which is
We
funny
could bring
because
some designers in. Yeah.
Yep, because I said that right out the gate, but you said you actually like sniped some Imagineers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it looks right.
it does. I mean, it looks fucking
great.
incredible. No, but this has been awesome. This is actually a podcast that I've been wanting to do. I've been asking the guys for a while because like when the first time I came up to do this stuff with you guys, I had no clue your background or what all you guys did up here. And the more I learn, the more I'm like, this guy is the most interesting man in the world. Like I really wanted to sit down and have this conversation. So I'm excited personally.
Yeah. I don't know about the most interesting guy, but it was absolutely a ton of fun to get to fly with you guys today. So we got to make up one more shorty tomorrow, but we're getting there.
I'm not that interesting, says man sitting in giant hangar with jets. All right.
Asterisk his hangar
I know.
with his jets.
with the cantina upstairs.
I know. It's like,
Yeah, we all flew today except Cody who p***ed out.
Hey, you know what? I like you. You're a nice guy.
Aw, now I feel bad. No, weather got in the way, but
The
we'll
weather
do it
got in the
tomorrow.
way. I gave my wife the first flight. Like I wanted Moody to have her time on the flight. And then it started getting a little bit darker and like weather just kind of fucked up everything. But we had such a good time just being here and hanging out with you, man.
thank you. Like, seriously, thank you, dude. Like, Jared, thank you. That was a blast. So we appreciate it.
No, we love doing it. So glad you guys got to come out and experience it. Flew a lot of different types of fun aircraft. So this is good for us. We're getting ready to fly a bunch next year. So.
How do you know the senator here?
Well, we're hangar mates for a little store.
Yeah, we've known each other for years, and all those gray hangars there are mine. That's my company that, well, used to be. Not anymore. Now I'm a government employee again. But before I re-entered government service, all those gray hangars there are mine that have firefighting planes in them. So we got to know each other through this and then some charity stuff we did together for a few organizations. So
you guys are big in the nonprofits and charity work. Like, really big. I know you do St. Jude's.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do a lot with St. Jude, but thanks to the senator here, he reintroduced me just prior to the first mission where I went space. He reintroduced me to space camp where we both went. Senator went a bunch, and he's telling me they were having some tough times during the pandemic where, like, they have, a beautiful little rocket museum there. Some extraordinary. They got Saturn V there, and some of this was falling into various states of disrepair, and the senator stepped in, helped save a Pathfinder space shuttle, and thanks to his introduction, he's able to make some donations and get these going again too. So.
Dude, and again, not that interesting. Well, my first spacewalk. It's like, brother, stop.
If we can just start from the beginning for people who don't know anything about your story, like where did you start out? What kind of got you in?
Because he has to leave.
Oh, that's fair.
That's why
fair.
I was like,
Right.
I have to go in like 3 minutes. So
well, then
don't
let's.
bother. Stop.
Get in
I'm
there.
here simply because I happen to be here. So
You're like a battlefield. You
Yeah,
SEAL.
start with the senator.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like,
I think this is technically the first senator we've had on the podcast.
yes.
I feel like that's true.
Yeah, we had a governor.
Yeah, we had a governor.
Yeah, we had a
on.
governor, not a senator yet. So
yeah, there's a reason why we're not very exciting.
this motherfucker.
But you're everything. You like, I'm gonna do SEAL, Ranger, fly planes.
Well, so I grew up flying. My neighbor growing up was a Navy pilot, so he started teaching me how to fly when I was about 8. He was a Korean War Sky Raider, which most people don't know about the Sky Raider. Everyone knows the World War II warbirds, and then they know the next generation, like the plane behind us here, the F-5, the F-14s, all that. But the Sky Raider was part of this kind of interim era of planes, and it was like the A-10 of its era. And for those of us who fought, in GWAT, the A-10 was the ultimate close air support weapon. Came in, that epic cannon you hear sounds like canvas ripping, and the A-1 was that in the Korean War. And he flew those, and he started teaching me how to fly planes when I was a kid. So I went to the Naval Academy to be a fighter pilot, like all children of the 80s. I wanted to be Maverick, of course. And then ended up getting talked into the special ops route. So went into the SEAL community and did the Rangers as well. And then did several deployments during the war. My wife was a Marine. We met at the academy. I was a mail order husband, actually, believe it or not. She picked me right out of a catalog. No, we met at the Annapolis.
SEALs.
Yes, exactly.
SEALs Weekly.
Shirtless
the
photos.
the American flag Speedo, like that Burt Reynolds on the bear rug.
Yeah, she got Mr. July.
Yes, exactly right.
I ordered February.
I know. Perpetual disappointment to this day. So I ordered the other month. But no, we were deployed so much and apart. It was like 45 days across 6 years we actually saw each other. So we got married through the mail. And then, long story. Ended up, I got injured, got wounded, got out, and I started my companies right 100 yards from this hangar here, which is how Jared and I kind of got to know each other. And the mission was to bring that close air support model we kind of perfected in the special ops community and bring that to wildfire. So we had built a company from scratch here with some other veterans, and and then eventually got talked into throwing my life in the wood chipper and going into politics.
Dude. Hey, Brandon,
So here we
how do you
are.
feel about that?
Hey, he knows all about that.
Yeah, I feel like nobody here at this table knows better than you exactly how much of a wood chipper that is.
It is, yeah. And folks on the outside love to hate elected officials, especially Congress. We're like the least popular body, in the nation. But when you look at our relationship with our congressional body back to the beginning of our nation, I mean, we were the first country really to believe in a powerful legislative organization. I mean, Article 1 of the Constitution is Congress. And as much as we all love to hate it, it is the people's branch, especially the House of Representatives. That's the people's expression of power to the government. And as annoying as can be, as dysfunctional as can be, as Winston Churchill said, democracy is the worst form of government, except for all the others. Right. And it's messy. And whether you're watching Jasmine Crockett every day, or somebody else, you're like, what the hell are these people doing there? That they're there to represent the will of the people. And it's messy, but it's messy for a reason, because self-rule is messy.
I too open Twitter just to edge my aneurysm and watch Jasmine Crockett.
Yeah.
You went, rewind just a bit. Yeah. You Navy SEAL and then got accepted into Ranger School. You were one.
No. Rangers first. So when I was at the Naval Academy, I was part of a program. So at the Naval Academy, you get picked for your service selection. So when you're at the service academies, you get picked. Okay, you're going to go West Point. You'll be a infantry, artillery, pilot, whatever. Naval Academy, you'll be a Marine. You'll be a fighter pilot, submarines. And if you're picked to go SEALs, that's kind of a multi-year selection process. You have to go through what's called mini-buds, what's called something else now, but at the time it's mini-buds, and then a screening process. And they basically put you through kind of a hell week before you go to buds to make sure you're going to make it. And in that process, there was kind of an integration going in our special ops community where, Army and Navy special ops are being integrated like they never really were ever before. And prior to GWAT, the special ops groups, whether it was Green Berets, Rangers, Delta, SF, the Green Berets, Air Force Special Ops, SEALs.
Segregated.
They all did their own thing, and they rarely were totally integrated. And GWAT saw the kind of development of, the Joint Special Operations Task Force, where everyone just got jammed in together, and we're all one team, one fight. And the oddballs out of that were really the SEALs, just because we did everything different. We were water-based, ranks were different, weapons, SOPs. So there was an effort to start bridging that gap, and I was part of that. So I was privileged to go through Ranger training, Ranger school, Ranger regiment training, airborne recon training, all that stuff. And
oh God, they put you through the ringer.
They did. I'm a glutton for punishment. Rangers, SEAls, politics. Yeah,
I was about to say you went through RIP and then you went to buds.
Yeah.
Holy shit, buddy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was fun.
You did RIP too?
Yeah, so it was the regiment.
You did RIP and Ranger School?
Yeah. Well, I mean, pretty much all the guys in regiment do.
Well, yeah, but yeah. I know, but they don't also then do buds.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
And then fly a plane.
Yes.
That's the big difference between everything.
Like getting kicked in the nuts.
I did.
Yeah, that's why he ran for office.
Yes. Yeah. And I married a Marine too, to make sure that she'll ensure I get kicked in the nuts anytime deviation from standards is observed. So
you're like, man,
she delivered one of our kids into her own hands, like caught her like a football, like didn't make a peep either. It was like back of the truck. I'm like, oh,
Jesus,
there we go. We're done.
I was telling
and the hospital still charged me for the full like labor and delivery bill, because we still go to the hospital to make sure it's all good. You get the bill at the end. They don't give you a discount for self-delivery in the parking lot.
That's bullshit.
Just so you know, just FYI if you ever have kids.
They probably don't have that little coupon in the register.
My wife's going into labor. Sir, there's a baby in your hand. Yes. Yeah. Wash it.
Yes.
Do things.
Yep.
That's wild.
Got a free blanket though.
Yeah.
No, you got an amazing family, man. I was telling, like, before we got on the podcast, I was talking about your son tried to kill me with a lightsaber earlier.
Oh, we all got chopped in half by your son.
That's par for the course. Yeah, he's a warrior. I mean, you're lucky he had clothes on. Normally he's completely naked, like an old warrior.
He seems
of
like a
antiquity.
wild man.
Yes. He is. Yep. That's about par for the course. Yeah. If he's got pants on, it's a good day.
Also,
same, brother.
So guys, imagine him, but just like this tall, with a lightsaber, just swinging it at all of us.
Yep.
Dude, he's a wild man. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
You got a beautiful family.
Yep.
And dude, again, that career is wild. Both of you, like everyone here is just, it makes me feel like a piece of shit because I'm like, I got to work harder. I got to work harder.
You got great hair, though.
I know.
Some good hair.
Holy shit. Gray hair.
No, I said great hair. You got good looking hair. It's
I thought you were like, you got great hair. I was like, I know.
He was just telling Eli, your time has passed.
Yeah. I too did GWAT. Fucking ancient. So what year did you get out of the military?
So active duty got out kind of in 2014. Then I stayed. I did like reserve recruiting for naval officers and NSW for a while, and then was all ranching and business for a few years, and now back in the government.
Damn.
Couldn't resist.
I don't know how you went back to.
Which is crazy too, because you went from never having run for any sort of office whatsoever to going straight to Senate, which for those who don't know, I thought I jumped in the deep end of the pool by having never run for office and then going for House, which is a pretty big jump. Senate is a completely different ballpark. That is a much more expensive race, a much more watched race. I mean, you said earlier they spent over $300 million.
Yes, we were the most expensive race in the history of mankind on a per vote basis here. Like goofy, $325 million. So it was more expensive to buy a TV commercial in Montana like a year ago today than in Las Vegas, New York, LA, anywhere. We were the most expensive media market in the nation because, we were the Omaha Beach race. So our race was going to determine control of the Senate. Now, we ended up with a 53 seat majority, but keep in mind, Dave McCormick had a 2-week count off. Bernie won by, less than 1%. So margin of error, we were the race that the Dems knew for sure this was going to be the firewall. So, they spared no expense. It was the landing craft on Omaha Beach, man. It was nonstop. And they tear apart your life. Anything you've ever done. I mean, every newspaper article about me before June of 2023 was, war veteran, family man, philanthropist, job creator, firefighter, and every article after July of 23 is, he's a scammer, he's a crook, he's a liar,
piece of shit, dog kicker.
We've never seen this.
I know.
Brandon.
Yes. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
They grasp at anything they can.
They do,
and what's funny is that it doesn't matter if they believe it because they don't.
Yeah.
They grab at anything they can to see what sticks. They're like, all right, which thing do people actually believe? Oh, okay, people run with that. Let's do that.
And you can have 20 people lined up that will sing your praises, and one like random hobo on the street that some guy pays $5, or gave him a bag of crack, and like he says you're a bad dude, and they interview that guy for the Washington Post, and they're like, this guy's a credible source. he says Tim's an asshole. It's like, well, obviously he is. This guy's credible. Let's put him on the front line news,
Tim Sheehy sold me fentanyl behind the Target on
That's exactly right.
Right next to Elmo.
Yeah, I give homeless guys crack all the time to talk bad about his political opponent.
Yes, exactly. So. It's a good strategy.
You're a good friend.
Yeah. I give them some crack and I'm like, hey, the cop over there has copper in his veins. You should try to get that copper out of his veins.
And I try.
Yeah, they go with it.
Where's the camera angle cut on that?
I know. Brandon just slowly slides out of frame. He's like, I didn't represent that comment.
He's like, and Cody's talking again.
It was wild watching, being on our side, which we don't deal with politics, but seeing what Brandon went through on just jokes, and then how the media would just be like, nope, dude hates veterans, as he sits next to veterans in a veteran podcast who raises money.
He sits next to a Purple Heart recipient.
Yep.
And then 3 other veterans beside him. It was like, no, he hates veterans. He hates veterans.
I made a comment at a veterans town hall, as also a Purple Heart recipient, and I said, hey, as veterans, because I'm sick and tired of the veteran victim culture. They come home and they're like, oh my God, give me a blanket. I mean, like, listen, like we all volunteered. We're all a volunteer force. And we're veterans, not victims. So when we come back, there are certain things that we need and we earned and we deserve. Yes. That does not include all of the above, whatever the fuck I want forever, free shit, emotional support dogs at every street corner, blankets wrapped around me, a free job, candy, Halloween costumes, and a fucking free car. All right? No, like come home, get a fucking job, get a mission, and live your life and continue to serve your country. Now, yes, if you got injured, you got wounded, you got issues, 100%, we need to stand behind you. The VA is there to serve those veterans who deployed to combat, who have service-connected disabilities, come home and need support. It is not there to be a catch-all, campus support program for any need. I need new insoles for my shoes. Go to fucking Foot Locker like the rest of us. And the victim culture has permeated way too much. And we got to put a stop to it. And people want to talk about veterans. It's like, yeah, because they're convinced in their head that they have nowhere else to go. They're veterans. They're broken. No, they're not broken. They're not broken. They're strong, great patriots who volunteered to serve. And the best thing we can do when they get home is give them a mission, give them a career, not give them free stuff. And I've said that repeatedly, like I'm saying now, and they clip that and say, oh, Tim hates veterans. I'm like, I'm married to a combat veteran. I am a combat veteran, multiple tours. All I'm saying is we as veterans have a higher bar when we get home. And that bar is not give me free shit, give me a lifetime of handouts, give me a lifetime of benefit programs. No, it's come home and continue to serve your country, continue to achieve, and make the nation proud again.
But it doesn't matter what you said. It matters what they can pay enough money to make people think.
That's exactly right. Yeah. No, it didn't work. I still won by a lot. My opponent was, not a veteran. So him claiming I was anti-veteran when he had never served a day in his life, and me and my wife are both combat vets, it didn't really hold any water. But to your point, it was something they could grab and run with. Yeah. And so you're entering the crucible again. Thank you for doing it. I mean, we need our generation to step in and serve in elected office. It's a thankless job, but
for sure.
Thank you for doing it.
Well, no, I mean, I feel like you need more people that are again, like in our generation and less, 180 years old, but still for whatever reason being the people in charge of regulating Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. Like that is a problem.
Who's Bitcoin?
So how many Bitcoins can I fit in my wallet? None.
Just listening to
either one. I don't know.
Listening to the hearings about Facebook or Meta or anything like that, and just like, oh my God, like we need help. We need some serious help. But no, on top of that, I just feel like not only that, but people who aren't for sale, which seems to be the prevailing. I don't know. Not to speak ill of your colleagues, but there's a lot of it going around.
Well, listen. I mean, the reality is we were built to be a citizen republic. And, a republic. Republic is a word we hear. It floats around, but democracy never appears once in the Constitution. That word is important. It matters, but we are a republic first and foremost, and that's a form of government that is very fragile and has never succeeded over the long term. And there's all these Iran is an Islamic republic, I think North Korea calls themselves the Democratic People's Republic, so there's lots of republics out there, but truly a nation that is run by regular citizens who choose to stand up and volunteer their time and service to shape the future of their children, of our economy, of the greatest nation in the world. This is the only country where that has really worked at scale for a long time. And yes, I'm sure someone listening will dig up like some random ass Nordic country with 2 million people in it that, they've been a republic for 400 years. It's like, okay, all right, fine. All right, but not the biggest economy, largest nation in the history of the world. Like, this has not worked at scale ever. For this amount of time. And that's special. And it's also tough. It doesn't come easily. It comes at a cost. It comes at a cost of me throwing my life in the wood chipper, you throwing your life in the wood chipper. Maybe these guys, probably not this guy, he's too ugly, but maybe.
It's always what it was.
Maybe this guy trying to, enter our government and run, the next generation of space exploration.
What is it? Like a republic if you can keep it.
That's exactly as what Ben Franklin said. Yeah. As he left Independence Hall. What government have you given us, Mr. Franklin? He said, a republic, if you can keep it, because he knew that it was so perishable. And every time it had been tried, it had collapsed under its own weight. Well, I get like one day a month to eat dinner with my grandparents and kids. So I'm here for this guy because we've known each other years. We weren't particularly close. It wasn't like we were like going camping together, but we knew each other, and Space Camp was having a problem during COVID. And as he said, I donated a good deal of money to help restore some rockets and keep the camp open. And, I was a successful business guy. But, there are limits to what you can afford. And they outlined to me the scope of their financial challenges. And I said, you know what? I got some money, but I know another guy who's got a lot more money than I got. Let me give him a call. And I called Jared, and to his credit, right away, no hesitation, said, absolutely, I'm going to get involved. We're going to make a difference. And he's continued to have that attitude about so many things throughout his life. And obviously, recently, for the past several months, as I'm sure you've seen in the news, he's been called on to serve our country again. And although there's been some drama around that, I think we're navigating through that. He's got a future as part of this American Renaissance we're feeling, which I don't care where you are on the political spectrum, left, right, center, up, down, red, blue, I don't give a shit. Like, we got to fix this country. We got to reorient our country back towards American excellence and just kicking ass in every way possible. And that means we need frankly, a new generation of leaders getting into the system, and he's part of that. So when he reached out and said, hey, I'm considering coming back in, and I said, I'll do whatever I can to support you, not because we're friends, not because I get anything from this, because I don't. I simply care about getting the best people possible into our government to make sure that our kids' future is as great, as it possibly can be.
And I'm looking forward to waking up and reading the news article where you have voted yes on his confirmation hearing as director of NASA.
Yes, I already did, actually. I introduced him. Yeah, we already did V1 of this, where I introduced him at his hearing and was vocally supportive. So.
I'm looking forward to take 2.
Yes, perfect. Yes, me too. So,
Anyways, elder breakfast.
He's top of the pile, best guy around. So thanks, guys, for making a trip to Montana. Last best place, greatest state in the union. So have fun while you're here.
Where do we find you?
Pleasure,
Or where does the internet find you if they have any questions or anything for you?
TimFremT.com, TimSheehy.com. Go there and check it out. Call our office anytime. So sometimes I work the phones in my office myself, so I might be the one picking up the phone, asking you, what's your problem today?
Well, if I lived here, I'd vote for you.
All right.
I also hate
Well, if you were a Democrat, you could vote for him anyway.
Yes, exactly. Yep. All right, see you guys. Have fun.
Such a pleasure, brother. Brandon! Cody, call him the one word.
Win AK-50.
I sense the disturbance in the force. What's up?
How do you like those Turtle Beach noise canceling headphones? They're the Stealth 700.
They're fantastic. The noise canceling is so good, all I hear is tinnitus.
God, these are comfortable.
They're really comfy.
Yeah, those are dope.
Turtle Beach, make some Range Ear Pro.
You want genuine reaction? Cody, actually, put those on.
Oh.
Nice. Those are legit comfortable. Yeah. Turtle Beach, what you doing over there, girl? You making some hot-ass stuff.
I like your squishies. 3D spatial audio to improve your gaming. That would work really good in Tarkov. Hear people's footsteps.
And in PUBG.
I can't wait to use a Turtle Beach headset to listen for footsteps in Tarkov, running the new AK-50 while I get still killed from a woodline I can't see.
What?
Eli, there's a global cabal that's working behind the scenes to control all media, banking, politics. And that's why we should have never gone off the gold standard.
Hey, hold on. 80-hour battery life.
80-hour battery life. Holy shit, there's a lot of switches. Can't stress enough how comfortable these are. And if you've been in a long gaming session, which I'm sure all of us have, unfortunately.
I wear adult diapers when I play World of Warcraft.
You should be euthanized.
Ha!
Also, controls. Headphones, great. This, game hard.
Head to Turtle Beach and use code UNSUB for 10% off your entire order.
That's 10% off your entire order at turtlebeach.com with using code UNSUB.
After your purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support Unsub and tell them where you got them.
Tell them Unsub sends their regards.
Cool, and we're back. Senator Sheehy had to run and go save some orphans from a burning building. But,
Yeah.
I think
Checks out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is wild. That is a military career. That's why when you're like, well, you jumped straight to senator, I was like, well,
It's like a hell of
jumped a lot of different things that I want to.
He had a hell of a military career, a hell of a civilian career, and then a hell of a political career right out the gate. It's like the guy just doesn't miss.
Yeah, and then he saved some fire for some babies.
Yeah, I was going to say,
What?
like, his civilian career as an entrepreneur is water bombing fires and saving towns and schools from burning down. He's had an unbelievable career.
Literally did that.
Yeah,
That is wild.
amazing human.
And now we get to talk to you. That's why we were like,
Yeah,
wait,
like I said,
hold on for the good questions.
Far
'cause we
less
have-
interesting.
Oh,
Yeah.
shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
Spacewalks.
what are you talking about?
Jets, everything. I don't even know. As Brandon said earlier, it is rewind to at what age this began, because we've heard of it from random people, but I would love at what young age it started. We're like, I'm going to just...
Kindergarten. I mean, it's just really, so my older brothers and sisters, 15 years older, 13 years older, 8 years older, I was raised really independent. So the babysitter was watching movies like Top Gun, Right Stuff, Space Camp. It's really, really good movie. And and from kindergarten, I was like, I want to be an astronaut. And then as I grew up, I was like, well, that's not going to happen. So I'll be a pilot. I built my first computer to fly like a flight simulator. Like that's so it's been a passion since I was really, really little.
And
it's
you-
all TV's fault.
Your first business was at 15, 16?
16, yeah.
And that's where you were like, hey, I'm going to do... if you want to go into that, because I think even that, what you want to talk about, but your dad would sit with you at your business meetings. Is that true?
No, so I mean, he had to drive me place. I started the company when I was 16. It's in payments. So like our customers are most of the restaurants, hotels, stadiums, theme parks in this country. Now we're global. We're in like 6 different continents. And yeah, so it's fintech. It's kind of interesting, but nothing like, obviously fighter jets in space. But started that when I was 16. My father left his company to come join with me. So working with him was, definitely one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. I learned a ton from my dad. But yeah, so I kind of was doing that for a while and waking up on my keyboard, because it's the best time, by the way, if you are going to start a business, like there's a good chance if you're going to do it as a teenager, you're going to screw it up because you don't know much. But what a great time to do it also, because you have no family, no responsibilities. So you can kind of afford to give, like 110%, just burn yourself out at things. And that's what I was doing. And it was working on the business side, but I needed something else in my life. So I started flying, and I kind of picked up that childhood passion and ran with it for a while.
It's kind of funny because ever since the first time I came out here and like learning more about your story and everything like that, now when I go to pay at restaurants and I just see that little icon with the company pop up, I'm like, there you go. Little piece of Jared everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All those pennies, they add up.
Yeah. Nah.
Yeah.
No.
Couldn't tell.
You employed your dad at 16?
Wow.
I think you're doing way better than any of us at this table. I was mowing yards.
We were partners. But yeah, no, I had my tour prior to that, Burger King, waiter and all that. I mean, but really I think I was like a caddy at 12. My parents were very like, you want anything in life, you're going to go out and work and do it. And just lucky to spot an opportunity. And I can't like underscore that enough. Luck is such a huge factor. You don't start a company when you're a teenager and like it works out the way it does without a lot of things, falling your way. Yeah. So on.
And now you're just crushing it. And then that's what got you into planes, fighter pilot. And you own one or two. You actually have a company or started a company with others where you acquired how many jets across the...
Oh, we had so this company, just give you a little bit of history here. I knew I always wanted to fly these kind of airplanes. I had no idea there was, the Air Force Reserve or the Guard. Like there was a concept of being able to, contribute and serve your country in a part-time way. And when I found out was after I was flying air shows with some of the greatest military aviators ever. That's the only reason I went back and got my college degree at 29. It was like, oh man, I'd love to be able to, serve in the Guard or whatnot. But we wound up flying air shows. We had a 7-ship formation act. We flew around everywhere, all these cities around the country, having the time of our lives. And then we pivoted that mostly because we were like, we can't maintain this lifestyle. I mean, you were drinking a lot, you're eating like crap all the time, and then you're flying for 4 days in a row. And
same reason we don't do the live shows all year round.
it was like this is max fun, super unhealthy, gonna end poorly. So we were like, we need to maintain the fun factor, but turn into something commercial. So we ran around the world and we bought over 100 fighter jets. Like we actually, at one point, were like the 12th largest air force in the world. So we had MiG-21s from Poland, L-159s from Czech Republic. We had jets from Israel, Spain, France, the country of Jordan. And it was so cool going around like doing these deals. And it's funny, people like, talk about government service and like, our government is so corrupt. Until you've bought fighter jets from like a Middle Eastern country, you have no idea what corruption is. Like we're actually pretty good,
I feel like it's funny because you always hear that thing where it's like the biggest air force in the world is obviously the U.S. Air Force. And then the second one is the U.S. Navy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the 13th is Jared.
Yeah, he's wild.
How many of the biggest air forces do we have? Well, one of them is just one of our people. So
we have Iran, Jordan, Jared.
Yeah,
that's
you mean Jordan? No, I mean Jared.
Last name.
Well, called it Draken, but we were pretty big, pretty big Air Force, and we were basically just the professional bad guys for the Department of Defense. We'd have 20, sometimes 30 jets at Nellis Air Force Base in Las Vegas. So we were in all the red flag exercises, supporting their version of Top Gun, weapons school. We had A4s dropping training ordnance for the Marines, for JTAC training, for Navy Special Warfare operators up in Fallon. It was, I've said it many times, like I think commercial space, what companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin do is like the number one coolest industry, hands down. But Top Gun for a living, strong number 2.
Oh, yeah. That's still wild. And then what was your first, like, hey, with Draken, I'm going to go out and start doing this? What was that first business deal like?
Yeah, how do you get started in?
Yeah,
I'm going to be up for the Air Force.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said,
I'm going to just turn it sideways.
We were
so it's not
flying.
covering your face.
Yeah, thanks. We were flying air shows every weekend and just spending a lot of time at the bar where a lot of the good ideas come out. And we were like, we should do this. We should be this professional fighter jets as a service.
Hey, the country was started in a bar. All right.
I think it's a great place. A lot of good industries. Anyway, we basically started to think about this idea, but we wanted to be different than others. There were some companies that did it prior to us, but as we said, they basically put metal in the sky. So Korean War era airplanes with no radar warning receiver. So they had no idea that the good guys were there, and they certainly had no way to attack them. And we were like, so if we're going to do this, we want quantity. Like, we had a big problem we got to solve here. Like, the U.S. government needs like lots of fighter jets as a service to do this because it saves a lot of money and it preserves the life on our existing fleets. But it also needs to be credible. So a lot of quantity, credible meaning like you can react to whatever the good guys are doing and then you can punish their mistakes. And then sustainable. Usually when countries are ready to sell their fighter jets, they're crap. I mean, they've used every last bit of life out of them because they know what's coming next is like $120 million F-35 or something. So who's willing to sell these airplanes that actually have tons of life remaining on it? And that was kind of the criteria. And first stop was Romania. They had these MiG-21s that the Israelis upgraded. So they're Russian MiG-21s, but they put a modern U.S. radar in, a helmet queuing sight, some advanced missiles and sensors. Couldn't get a deal done there. Next stop was New Zealand. Perfect circumstances because they, for political reasons, disbanded their offensive air force. So it was like in 2003.
The American mind cannot comprehend that.
They were pure defense. So they have like maritime patrol for search and rescue, maybe some sub hunting and stuff. But every airplane that had offensive strike capability, they disbanded, which meant they had all these A4 Skyhawks from the original Top Gun. But then they upgrade them with F-16 radars, F-16 radar warning receivers, all the modern data buses and everything. We were like, that's it. I mean, that's the perfect aggressor. They used them in Top Gun, but it's even more advanced. We bought their whole combat air force, basically. Their A4s, their Air Mach-Es, and that was the first deal of what became many around the world of buying fighter jets.
That's a lot. Like, are you meeting with multiple people? Like, what is that sit down? Because I still cannot conceptualize sitting down. It's like, oh, these are nice MiGs.
Hi, John C. Bulgaria. I would like to buy a MiG-29.
Oh, it's so cool. So, I mean, eventually we had to have a network because we determined that control of this industry that ultimately became a $6 billion industry when the Air Force finally was like, wow, this thing's real. It's not just one-offs. Like, you can really have commercial fighter jets as a service. Controlling the fleet of good fighter jets in the world became, the whole game plan. So every defense attaché around the world, when a country was going to disband their fighter squadron, we were reaching out to and was like, all right, are the jets still good? Are they going to be reasonable in price and everything? And we would use them to kind of help direct us where we need to go. And we'd fly all over the place. And then, I mean, you could be, depending on the size of the country, you're meeting with the Minister of Defense. You're meeting with a Minister of State, and you're hoping that you have the right motivated, kind of seller, so you can actually not have these things turn into like a 20-year government program to sell these airplanes. But that's how it went. You're just traveling around having these kind of cool meetings with 20 different flags in front of you. These like little mini UN tables. It's really cool.
It's kind of fucking rad.
And what age were you at this?
Oh, so we started this company in late 2011. So 14 years ago. So I was, a little more mature than 16 when I started Shift 4. So.
You're like 30 still, right? Give or take. Dude, that's
late 20s.
So when you just to share with people, I guess, a little bit of, if you're comfortable with that, the seed capital you had for this stuff, when you made your initial, I guess, payout from Shift 4, what did that look like for you? Like, what did you start with?
So you start with $10,000. So that was a gift from my grandfather when I was 16 to start Shift 4. That was all we had. We had no outside capital for the first 15 years in business, other than that $10,000 check from my grandfather. And again, when you talk about luck, it was at an interesting time again, we're back to fintech, so kind of slightly less interesting than space and fighter jets, but it was at an interesting time where it was not a capital intense industry. All the banks were focused on putting credit cards in consumers' wallets and convincing them to go out and overextend themselves. And very little was paid on kind of facilitating the payment transaction, of which if you were a pizza joint and you wanted to take credit cards, it was a nightmare. You had like a mortgage document that was like this just to get started. So it was not a capital intense industry, and we were able to be pretty disruptive for very little cost. That wouldn't work like now. If we started 5 years later, I mean, you'd need millions to do what we did with very little then.
But you just identified a need.
Yeah, that's it. When people talk about starting a business, like, is there opportunity? Is there an obvious problem that you were able to fix? Or have you created a far better solution than what already exists? And is there a revenue model to underwrite it? Like, you fix this problem and you actually can generate more revenue than cost. That was the right time, right place to do it in this industry.
Yeah. And then by the time you did you make an exit from Shift4, or are you still, I guess, a part of that?
So I own about 25% of the company. We went public in 2020. First company back in the New York Stock Exchange to ring the bell during the pandemic, June 5th, 2020. So yeah, I was CEO right up until the NASA nomination, and then now I'm executive chairman and still on a lot of it.
That's awesome.
You're missing that one thing. At 16, you identified that thing, and at 16, I was like, girl, or I played video game.
Which was still, I believe at the time, but it was, if I can say, it was like a 9-digit payout.
Yeah, I mean, the company's got over, it's like a $10 billion market cap right now. So
yeah, so you started what eventually became a $10 billion company at 16.
Yeah, we should still be going up from there. We're pretty good. We're a pretty good company right now. The market's not totally valuing us the way it should.
That's the funny part to me, is that you're just so unbelievably humble about it. You're like, I'm not that interesting, but yeah, I started a $10 billion company before I could legally drive.
My dad had to drive me to business meetings. And again, major props. That's that motivation. I love that level of just entrepreneurship, and then the mindset even at a young age where it was, I need to do this. And then I guarantee you chase that with full intent too.
Because it's super inspirational. And that's what you're about, is inspiration.
Yeah. Well, I will say in terms of the intensity, right? I mean, you talk about, people ask me a lot, like, high school, college kids, hey, I want to start a business. It's like, all right, well, like, make sure there's opportunity there. A lot of people start businesses where it sounds good, but it's, it's just, you're not really fixing something. So it's destined to go for failure. Or people actually have solved real problems. It's just the revenue model doesn't work. No matter what, it will always like hemorrhage cash. And that usually, unless you're in a really accommodating low interest rate environment, that it usually doesn't work. But it's like gotta have opportunity, gotta have a good revenue model, and then your intensity point, absolutely. Like, that's why actually as a teenager is great, because I've talked to a lot of like people who struggle with businesses and failed entrepreneurs, and it was like, well, family comes first. And I was like, not year one, man. You're starting a business right now. Like, you need to give it everything you have in your life. Like, you want to do the best thing you can for your family when you're starting a business, is make it work. And that does mean putting it, first for some period of time. And then eventually you get it right. It's the best thing you can do for your family.
A lot of people don't understand that level of sacrifice, or they think, well, I worked hard. It's like, no. There is no time for anything else other than this one main objective, and then that has to be it. And it's maybe 1 year, but chances are it's going to be a multi-year process.
100%.
And you just can't quit. Doesn't matter how hard it gets. It's just, okay, keep going.
When I was first starting off and like struggling with all the shit, like just starting my company, like I remember I watched Game of Thrones, season 5, season 6, whatever it was. I was just like binging all of Game of Thrones because I'd never seen it.
Yeah,
at 4 o'clock in the fucking morning, with my laptop next to me, babysitting a 3D printer, because we were running prototypes of like new models that we were running, shit like that. Because again, like, I was young, I didn't have a family, like I didn't have these obligations. I'm like, this is the time, like, it needs to pedal to the floor.
7 days a week. 7 days a week. Cannot stress that. There's no, like, the weekend thing doesn't exist either. No. That's why people, it's like, I wish I worked for myself. It's like, brother in Christ.
The only reason I know it's a weekend is because more people are at restaurants. Yeah.
This is a weekend, and we're still, like, you are working. Yes, it is fun, but it is still a passion, and you are working really hard.
This is our Sunday night.
Yeah, is this Sunday?
Yeah, I think so.
Is it?
Thanks for giving us your weekend, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Proving our point. No, we don't know what fucking day it is.
Dude, we flew
You could
in
have told
on
me Tuesday. I've been like, sounds right.
Same. Literally, it's
No,
like same.
Eli, it's so easy to do YouTube. I wish I could just do YouTube.
You know what? I agree. It's so easy, and you should all try.
You should literally.
It's so easy.
Try it, and then also just don't launch a whole bunch of other businesses on top of YouTube. It's like, let's do 5. 5 sounds like a fantastic business number, and you're like, fuck. But now, so we had just one of the best experiences. Period. We got to fly jets, and again, it is something we can't thank you enough because it is an opportunity almost not enough people get. Like, period.
That's super cool. Like just being able to, especially being let in, because like we all have our individual tisms, right? And yours is clearly flying. Like you just, it's easy to see that you just fucking love the hell out of it. Like the first time I came up here with you guys, I wasn't super familiar with you or your backstory or anything. I saw you bullshitting with your pilots, and I just thought you were one of the pilots. I didn't realize like, oh, you're just, oh hey Jared. I'm like, Jared. Oh okay, gotcha. Like you're just one of the guys, which is kind of cool. I always thought that was neat.
Yeah, I mean, that is 100% how we roll. We've all been flying together, again, all the way back 2010. We first started flying air shows together. So, we definitely don't have like that kind of a hierarchy at all. Like we're here, maximize fun, try and get people excited about what we do, inspired to do other big things. It's a really, especially for, we have these airplanes, but a big part of the story is space.
Yeah.
And this is hands down the absolute best time, in the history of the space program since Neil Armstrong was walking on the moon. I mean, you got reusable rockets. You got rockets now that are being caught by giant chopsticks. You got real prospect of humans, not just going back to the moon, but going to Mars, right? So like we can use these jets and we can take up space influencers, and they can talk, they can get people's attention on this. We can do flyovers like we did yesterday at the Montana State game. People are like, who are these guys? Because they're not the Air Force. They're like, oh yeah, they do commercial space stuff, and they go and look it up, and then they get excited about it. So it really kind of helps check a lot of the inspirational boxes too.
Are you friends with Elon?
I wouldn't say friends, like we're like professional acquaintances. I mean, certainly every Democratic senator thought I was close friends with him. He was putting me into NASA to engineer his singular focus on Mars. Not the case at all.
Turn the moon into a Death Star.
Yeah, went to space twice with SpaceX, which by the way is the only way that NASA has been able to go to and from space since the shuttle was retired in 2011. So I wasn't in any different place, but we had 2 successful missions, and he, along with a lot of other people, thought that maybe I can contribute. But I wouldn't say we're not drinking buddies. I've never gone out to dinner, never had a social event with him, just professional.
So how many times now have you been to space?
Twice.
So there's a lot of people that kind of like have this conversation about like, oh, we never went to the moon, we never went to space because humans can't survive past the radiation belt. So the real question is, how much is the New World Order paying you to lie about going to space twice?
Look, I mean,
why is the Earth flat? Why are you lying to me?
I don't even like.
You would have hit the dome.
Like being, like dismissive about it or like talking down to people. I actually like, I get it. You know what? We should have just been back to the moon by now and conclusively just showed you that we did. I mean, the fact that it's been a half a century and there's new generations out there that have grown up in the world where everything's on an iPad or an iPhone and they're like, well, if we've done it, why isn't it right in front of me right now? And we haven't. I will tell you 100%, we absolutely went to the moon. You know why? It was 4% of the discretionary budget. NASA right now is 0.25%. Believe me, you give 4% of that money in the best and brightest minds for a decade, you're going to do some pretty damn awesome things. But it was so expensive, and we beat the Soviets there for a lot of good reasons. It definitely had benefits back here on Earth, but we lost the will to do it. We didn't have the stomach for the budget, and we let way too much time go by. But that's changing. For the skeptics out there, you do not have to wait long. I promise you that.
I'm so excited. Dude, this is a lot of people I don't think understand how small the NASA budget is because you get to see it's like, well, why? Look how much we're wasting for Mars or these mission trips, and then it is
0.2%. Maybe even less. I mean,
and that's
also. I mean, it's cool to see that evolve too, where like NASA went from being the spearhead of like they were the ones who were doing everything. So now NASA can just be a supplementary arm of the Blue Origins, of the SpaceX, basically just helping them do something they're already doing. Like commercial space was, as a concept in the 70s, a fucking pipe dream, and now it's reality.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'd say, first, like SpaceX, Blue Origin, for all the things they are doing to wow us, they benefited from decades of what some of the best and brightest at NASA pioneered during a time when, the computers that they had to use to get us to the moon and back were the size of warehouses versus, what you can do on an iPhone today. They were brilliant. I mean, they were doing these kind of orbital calculations before they even had computers to attempt these things. Yeah.
Dude, they're doing it on paper,
Yeah.
and they're doing it to a precise, millimeter of accuracy on paper.
And
it's
playing
like,
with
hey,
people's
we can do
lives,
this.
too.
Yeah. I mean, they
You
took
get that
risks.
calculation wrong.
Oh, dude.
Buzz Aldrin doesn't come home.
Yeah, 100%.
I think through all of our years in business on the internet, we've all used Shopify. I've used it for merch and my skate shop and a couple other businesses.
I will actually agree 100% on that. Everything we do is run through Shopify.
Even bunkers run through Shopify.
Our shoes, which is a separate company, is run through Shopify, and they talk together because of Shopify.
Shopify runs the world.
Did you know Shopify will actually help you design a website also, Cody?
I know I didn't know about starting an online store when I started my career online, and Shopify just made it super, super easy for my dumb ass.
Brandon, what happens if people haven't heard about my brand, though?
That's actually easy, Eli. Shopify helps you find your customers with easy-to-use email and social media campaigns.
Step Cody, what happens if I get stuck?
Shopify is always around to share advice with their award-winning 24/7 customer service.
Step support, bro. You got my back.
And your front.
Shopify helps millions of businesses around the world, and
10% of all e-commerce in the U.S.
From household names like Mattel or Gymshark to new brands just getting started.
Unsub shoes, Unsub merch, bunker.
No, we've all been doing this for over a decade, and Shopify is the easiest e-commerce platform we've ever used.
I think every single one of us has used Shopify at one point.
I think all our businesses right now are using Shopify.
No, except mine, but that's because it's guns. Can't do that.
Just one of them can't. Turn those dreams into SFX, cha-ching, Shopify new cell sound.
And give them the best shot at success with Shopify.
Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/unsubpod.
Shopify.com/unsubpod.
I will say too, there was a appetite for risk. I mean, that was a battleground during the Cold War. We took more risk then than we did now. They had a lot more money to do these kind of extraordinary things. So this is like, to me, it's never an either or. It's not like, now we can just hand everything over to SpaceX. No, there is a world for both. And what it means is just NASA has to recalibrate for when they pioneer something, they truly figure it out and hand it off to industry to do it better, where competition can create innovation and drive down costs. I mean, the best thing in the world for SpaceX is Blue Origin to do well. I mean, they'll just feed off each other and give us really cool things like we've all been seeing, right? And then what does NASA do? It works on what they can't do. To figure out something else that's like truly cutting edge. Like, I'm a big fan of nuclear propulsion. SpaceX and Blue Origin aren't going to mess around with highly enriched uranium. They're not going to launch, a nuclear reactor. But you know who would? President Trump would. He would absolutely. He's already making nuclear great again. Clear the pathways. Let NASA work on what no one else can do, and hand off what they already figured out to industry to make it better. Because that's a relationship, man.
That's what I was going to ask you about too. Is because what is making you excited right now when it comes to that? Like, what is the next big thing? Because I mean, obviously, like reusable rockets was fucking huge.
Huge.
That was massive. But like, what's the next big step? What are you looking forward to? You're like, this is going to revolutionize stuff, and it's close.
Yeah, and I just want to on reusable rockets. Like, as somebody who is a total political newcomer. 9 months ago, I had one political position from running a defense company for 10 years. The competitiveness of our nation, like, we can't lose. Like, we always have to be the beacon of light and freedom in the world. And when we were, replicating with fighter jets, the bad guys, and what we were doing in 2013, 2014, we were playing China. We're 1960s MiG-21s. By 2019, it was like, wow, we can create some real problems for the good guys. And that made me concerned. And I'll tell you, bring this back to space. If we didn't have reusable rockets right now, what SpaceX did pioneer with Falcon 9, China would absolutely be putting more rockets in space than us. By far. And why is that a big deal? It's the high ground. It's the ultimate high ground. It's a high ground for sensors. It's being weaponized. Like, you do not want to give up that ground. So thank goodness for reusable rockets in ordering to keep this edge. But we're not going to hold this for forever. Like, we need to keep pushing forward. Obviously, the president certainly understands that. He created the Space Force for a reason, saying this is an important domain. We can't screw this one up. And we just need a lot more companies like SpaceX, Blue Origin, Stoke to make sure we hold the high ground.
I love it. It is. Even reusable rockets is the idea of that. And yes, we've had a couple of failures, but it's wild that people are like, look, it blew up. You're like, no. You do not understand. This did not exist a decade ago. This is groundbreaking tech, and this is saving God knows how much money.
So just about every rocket we've ever tried to throw up has exploded.
The Challenger is why
test.
we lost.
Yeah.
I mean, the Challenger is why you've seen a big decrease in budget, right? Once that, or one of the reasons. You had a couple different.
I just mean even in the test bed phase.
Oh, yeah.
Like rockets blow up all the time.
Yeah,
you get them dialed.
Throughout the test, it's a controlled explosion accelerating, to 17,500 miles if it's staying in low Earth orbit, 25,000 plus miles an hour if it's going to the moon or Mars. So, yeah, it's a lot of energy you're putting into something. Like, things can go wrong. Falcon 9, by the way, and it's important when you look at an organization like SpaceX, they have the operational side where they take no chances. So that's, that's what puts up the Starlinks. That's what sends crew to the space station. It's what sent me on my 2 missions, sends cargo up to space station. And then they have their development side where they are trying to do the near impossible, just like NASA tries to do. And that's Starship. And that is radical. We have never had a rocket in history where the bottom of the rocket, the booster, and the top of it are entirely reusable.
Yep.
I mean, almost throughout all of human spaceflight, when you're done with the rocket, you throw it in the ocean. I mean, imagine like how much that costs. I mean, Elon said it very much. Like, how many people would be going to Disneyland if we threw away the 737 every time you got there? Not many, right? So like Starship, yeah, it's had some setbacks. It is doing something very radical. And Blue Origin is going for reusability too. They're going to have some bad days, but that's very different than the operational rockets that are out there that, the country needs to depend on. Those are extraordinarily reliable. I'd never hesitated at all thinking we would be okay on our missions.
For sure. And so all of the Starship production is done in South Texas. It's down in Brownsville.
Yeah.
I've gotten the opportunity before to tour that facility, and just to see the sheer fucking scale of those rockets, and just the booster, like what they were able to catch. It's whatever you're thinking in your mind, it's bigger. And it's impossible to, like, that whole thing put together is bigger than like the Seattle Space Needle. Like, it's the biggest man-made flying object ever.
100%.
Just putting it all together, just like the booster plus the actual rocket on top. Like, you look at it and your brain just kind of shuts down. Like, like that's something that has made it to orbit.
I mean, you go to Starbase, Brownsville, Boca Chica, Texas. I call it. It's like, is it a religious experience going there? If you're a space fan, absolutely. I got like vibes from Manhattan Project. I mean, when my first time there, it was still very, there was a lot of tents and dirt and dust around, and just people working to make it happen. They call it the gateway to Mars for a reason. You know what I appreciate most coming out of the, kind of the defense industry on that one is the big defense primes that control all the contracts. They don't touch a keyboard without a contract. They rarely spend their own money. Government's got a good idea. They got a good idea. Give me a contract for it first before I do anything. My, company Draken, we had a big, field of dreams. If you build it, they will come. Solve a big problem, and the demand will be there. And that entire facility in Starbase, no one gave them a contract to do that. They went out and just spent tons of money, billions of dollars. You know what? We need to do this for the sake of humanity. We need, a interplanetary rocket that's rapidly reusable, has DoD applications, human exploration, everything, robotics, so badass. And they're like, we're going to build it here. We're going to spend billions of dollars. Then we're going to build the rocket. And we don't care if we get a contract or not. We're doing it for the good of all of humankind. Yep. It's energizing.
That's the cool part, at least to me, is that, like, say what you will about Elon, but like the idea came first and the passion came first. The business came later. Yeah, fuck it. I guess we'll give the world Wi-Fi. I don't know, but I just want rockets. Like, it's like all the actual business models came. That was a secondary step. Like with Starship, it's like, I don't know, fuck it. We'll find a way to make it cash flow, but like we're going to make the biggest rocket ever made. Yeah,
100%. And rapid and reusable, we'll never throw it away. And that's the whole thing when people are like, we got to take care of all our problems here on Earth before we think about Mars. First, it's a good argument. It's another thing I'm not dismissive of. It's been the space program has faced it since the beginning of time. But here's what I'll say: what's different now than it was, 50, 60 years ago? You got some of the richest people in the world footing the bill. You're right. Elon's doing it. He's not doing it because there's a gold rush on Mars. He thinks it's a good hedge against something catastrophic happening here on Earth, not to mention it's a good stepping stone towards our destiny to explore the cosmos. But he's footing a lot of the bill. Jeff Bezos at Blue Origin is footing a lot of the bill. And I'll tell you,
in the process, you're paying thousands of engineers. You're employing thousands of people who are on Earth. You're fueling that economy as well.
It's great for the economy. All these brilliant engineers and minds coming out of college, and they'll go on and create other awesome startups. What I'll say to you is, like, when they do this, not if, like when Starship, when New Glenn is successful with Blue Origin, Stoke, and all the other guys, like the problems it will solve here on Earth, we don't know yet. It will be many. It's amazing. Like when you have a vehicle that can send 100 tons to Mars, is it changed the whole UPS and FedEx dynamic? Are we sending a package, 1 hour delivery to the other side of Earth? You could do point-to-point travel with it. It has DoD applications to it. I mean, it's just, for everyone, it's like, all these things are a waste for humanity. No, like first, other people can foot the bill. And second, you have no idea what benefits it will have back here at home.
Especially in space. It's like space is that. It's how you. I love the idea of that's how you advanced as mankind. It is space 100%. That is like the Kardashian scale. It's like those little things where you're like, "Fuck yes, here's the Type 1 civilization," and then you get to see on that mindset is like, "What's a Type 2? What's a Type 3?" And then it is that mind blowing of, "Holy shit, these would look like gods," and they are just technologically advanced.
Well, on top of that, let's something a little bit more.
I subscribe, man.
I love this shit.
Something a little bit more tangible. I mean, look at Howard Hughes.
Yep.
All the stuff that he did, like, and geostationary satellites, all that stuff is like he was just a rich dude fucking around with stuff that he thought was cool.
Yeah, I mean, look, I say it all the time. Like, Elon somehow has picked all of humankind's greatest engineering problems for like the good of humanity. People who are blind or can't walk. I think I can build neuro implants to help them see again and walk. And maybe a more electric vehicles and more solar is a good thing. Maybe digging tunnels underneath the ground so we can get rid of traffic. Maybe building like interplanetary rockets. Or I don't want AI to go out of control and create T-1000s gunning us down. So I'm going to build responsible AI.
Instead, we're just going to make him super racist on Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. It's like literally everything he's trying to do. I mean, he may not always have the perfect delivery or the most timely like timelines or whatever on these things, but like he's literally trying to solve humankind's greatest problems. Like the country needs more Elons and more SpaceXs and more Teslas.
I have no skin color, but I must slur.
I have no, but I must come.
Yeah.
Those filthy wireback clankers.
I know. Dude, AIs. So what is, man, just...
So many directions to go with this.
This is like, dude, a spacewalk. It just even that
I wanted to go that
idea
direction
is
too.
just a spacewalk. What was that like? The training that led up to that, and then that moment where you're doing it, because that has to be a religious experience, and then also fucking terrifying at the same time.
Especially since I think like your spacewalk was unique. Like,
yeah.
As far as like, I don't know what to say of whether or not it was like a first or anything, but like it's a very elite club.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not big on like the first and that kind of thing. Like, I care about the mission. There is one first from my last trip in space, Polaris Dawn, which I do like to underscore because I think it's awesome. Is two of my crewmates, Sarah Gillis and Anna Menon, became the women who've traveled farthest from Earth ever. I mean, and we talk about, is the Van Allen belt like this impenetrable wall? We were in it. We certainly got our fair share of radiation, but a year later, I'm still kicking here, man. They're doing fine. We get checked out all the time. So that was a cool.
Was it actually like a serious problem that you guys were worried about, the amount of radiation you were getting? Or?
Not on us. We knew that basically, our 5 days in orbit, we got the equivalent of radiation exposure of being on the space station for 3 months. So it's a lot. And by the way, the space station even goes through portions of the Van Allen belt. There's something called the South Atlantic Anomaly, where the Van Allen belt comes down really close, about 240 kilometers above Earth. The space station is about 400 kilometers and change. So it goes through it all the time. Like we deal with that radiation. We were more concerned about the vehicle because humans don't like radiation. Avionics don't like radiation. So we did a lot of simulations of like what happens when we go full, like Apollo 13 here on this. And we had bets between myself and the the Capcom at SpaceX, which is the core, And, it's a Capcom plus a really brilliant engineer. And he was like, I think you're not going to have any alerts at all. Like, I think we really hardened this thing. They actually took the avionics out of the Dragon spacecraft and put it on a medical gurney to a oncology lab and just chucked like protons at it. And they're like, it should be mostly fine. They showed us the videos and everything. And I was like, I think we'll still get alerts. We got alerts.
So the people don't understand, it is radiation. What it does is it breaks down like literally the molecular level. It just breaks it apart. And that's why electronics suffer from it.
Well, for the human, I mean, it can mess with your DNA and increase the probability of cancer.
It shreds it. And you can't, it's terrifying.
For the avionics, it can do one of basically two things. Usually we call it single event upsets. And they basically requires whatever those electronics are that were impacted, we have to reset them. And they usually come back. And then there's if it's really bad hits, it cooks them and you can't bring them back. And our mission, the sun goes through high and low cycles of when it's angry. And when it's angry, it has lots of solar flares, coronal mass ejections. And when it chucks those things out, you basically get a warning of about 9 minutes time. Light travels from the sun to us. You get a little bit of a warning, like, hey, you might have some serious dosage on its way. And it looks really pretty on Earth. You get the nice aurora, it's like, oh, it's cool. Like there's purple skies down in Alabama. I've never seen that before. Well, if you're in space, you're freaking out.
I love how we've returned to Aztec mindset. We're like, oh shit, sun's angry.
Yeah.
Because that Cronus eject, that is you are talking about an explosion. It is a wave of fire that is 80 times the size of Earth that just explodes outwards. And then that rushes at us. And that's where it's like, oh, thank God we have this ozone layer, because that is the only thing protecting us.
Yeah. Earth's magnetic sphere is our protection. And
not if Taylor Swift has anything to say about it.
And look, just you can have a solar flare, coronal mass ejection. It doesn't necessarily mean you've got some some heavy ions coming your way or whatnot, but it's a good indicator that it might, and that could be a problem. But I know you asked about spacewalk, but that was the first. I was just really proud of 2 crew members who are brilliant engineers, and
cool, man.
Yeah, it was really cool. But spacewalk was awesome. We spent 2 years building a suit, and we started with the intravehicular suit, which is a suit you see all the astronauts wear when they, it's an IVA suit when they get in the spacecraft. And really, it's just a last line of defense. You get a fire, you take a micrometeorite orbital debris. Look, there's 1 billion bullets whizzing around in space. Paint chips that come off of a satellite. And they're traveling 17,500 miles an hour. And there's a lot of energy when they hit a vehicle, and they can go right through it. So you take a hole in the spacecraft. Oh, thank goodness I got the suit on. It pressurizes. Let's come home, and it's emergency. But that is not a suit you do a spacewalk in. You don't walk on the moon or Mars in it, because when that thing puffs up and fully pressurized, you're like the marshmallow man. You can't move. So we had to start with that and put joints in. Bearing rotator cuffs, in the shoulders and the wrists, gloves that actually had dexterity so that you could actually hold tools, because what's the whole point here? The point is, if you get to the moon or Mars, you get outside your spaceship and you discover things and you build things and repair things. So 2 years, the best minds there built an incredible suit. We took it into a vacuum chamber at NASA. We knew it worked. We developed a whole pre-breathe to denitrogenate, so we didn't have, basically the bends or decompression sickness. And we went out, and it was cool as hell.
That's something you have to worry about, is decompression sickness?
100%.
No shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know, bends, when you're doing deep sea diving and stuff like that, that's something you have to worry about, because you have multiple atmospheres worth of pressure. Mm-hmm. You have to worry about that in 0G.
Yeah, basically, high to low is always the problem. So high pressure, low pressure. High pressure generally building up more nitrogen unless you've denitrogenated your body, and then you go low pressure, and that's you're opening the can of soda. So when you're scuba diving, you go down 3-4 atmospheres, whatever. You got you're breathing normal air. You're loading up nitrogen in your system. You return to the surface, and you're begging all those bubbles to come out of solution, and that's what causes joint pain. And it can, that's type 1. DCS is joint pain. Type 2 is you can have cerebral issues, cardiac issues, and such. So think about it in a spacewalk. We're going from normal atmosphere, 1 atmosphere, to 0, except whatever's in your suit pressure. So you're going high to low, and you absolutely can get DCS. People during testing got DCS, and when we were, not any of the crew members, but there was a whole testing regime of how to denitrogenate, because we had no airlock. That's kind of key. Is on the space shuttle, space station, you have an airlock. So you got an airlock, you can go and breathe 100% oxygen, not worry about creating an environment where you could have a fire. We didn't have that. We had to throw air atmosphere, so we had to figure out a way to not breathe 100% oxygen for a while and create a fire hazard. So our risk for DCS was higher. But we figured it out, and obviously we had no DCS hits. But I mean, even you read Michael Collins' book, on the Apollo 11 mission, he talked about he would get type 1 DCS on his Gemini mission, and then his Apollo mission, he was just physiologically, he was more susceptible to it.
Oh, shit.
He just didn't know at that time. So like, I don't know.
I think he knew. He's like, he knew, but he was like, he's a fighter pilot, and he's like, I'm not telling anyone. I tell anyone I'm susceptible to this, like, I'm getting pulled from the rotation.
Oh, dude, that is
enough.
so true with the government.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm going to lie about everything. You vomit blood. That was grape juice. I'm fine. It's
Yep.
like, that's my spleen.
Hey, Brandon, do you have Cash App?
Brandon, I asked you a fucking question.
No, Eli, what's that?
Do you have Cash App, Brandon?
How did you do that?
Brandon, anything's possible when you use Cash App.
Okay.
Moving money should be easy, Brandon. That's why there's Cash App.
Wow, this is really easy to use. I have it now. Don't hit me again.
Cash App is fast, safe, and way more personalized than the other apps out there.
No extra hoops to jump through, no extra stress. All the tools are right there to help you cash in.
Plus, sending money through Cash App actually feels safe and secure.
If something seems sketchy or there's like red flags that you might be sending your money to a scammer, they let you know. They'll give you a warning and make you think twice before hitting send. It's like having a bodyguard for your cash. Send your buddy some money with the eggplant emoji.
My favorite.
Make his friends think twice.
Brandon, what are these 3 drops of water and an eggplant mean?
It's a tip for good service.
I like tips. Just a tip.
Just the tip.
And for whatever reason, if you don't have Cash App, just head over to your phone app store and download it today. And use code UNSUB10.
And if you send $5 to a friend, you get $10 deposited in your account just for getting started.
Send Brandon $5. His number is 3.
No.
New Cash App users can use our exclusive code to earn some additional cash. Legit for reals? No catch.
Just download Cash App and use our code UNSUB10. Send $5 to a friend within 14 days, and you'll get $10 dropped right into your account.
That's money. That's Cash App.
So what was then walking out, though, and doing that spacewalk? So now you built the suit, and then you guys are up there, and gals, and now it's like, okay.
Yeah, so it was short. We basically, the whole operation was just under 2 hours. We each had 8 minutes outside the vehicle. And the reason is we're breathing 100% oxygen. We had to bring all our own tanks for this. There's no airlocks. We threw away our atmosphere, so we had to repressurize the vehicle. So we didn't have much time out there, and I'll tell you, it was not what I expected. So I'd went up before. We had the cupola on my first mission, which was the biggest continuous window in space. And I'm like, I've seen the most beautiful thing you can imagine from space. It's probably going to look like that. And I was wrong. It was so much more intense. It was this big sensory thing because not only did you have that visual stimulus of like you poke your head out and you're seeing Earth right in your face. You've got the noise of the oxygen flowing in. You got temperature. You're cold as hell. We were worried about overheating, so it was like extra oxygen coming in to really cool you down. You got the exertion of moving against a suit pressurized to 5.2 psi. So even any movement was exertion, and it just was overwhelming to come in. But it was awesome.
Nothing around you.
Yeah, just Earth out the front, and then when you looked into the darkness of space, that was like the unsettling.
Yeah, like what went through your fucking mind just looking at it?
Yeah, that was a surprise because I just did not think that it would feel differently. But I've talked to other astronauts too. I was like, hey, how do you feel when you look away from Earth? Because you don't always see the stars. And I know it's another like kind of conspiracy thing. You got to be in the right orbit where you're in eclipse. Because if you have any light coming off of Earth, it kind of drowns it out. So you need to be in eclipse. You need the moon in the right spot. And then, yes, you can see beautiful Milky Way stars. So it's like, but why don't I always see it? Well, it depends. If the Earth is illuminated, you're not going to see stars. So I looked out and I've asked people, like, what happens when you just look out in the darkness of space? And astronauts have been like, man, I felt like I was swimming in ink. Like I've heard all these things, and like most people generally agree, it is rather unsettling because you have an appreciation for just the vastness of space in front of you, and everything you're looking at is trying to kill you. You have no atmosphere to breathe. You got bullets zinging by, the micrometeoroid that'll pierce not only your suit but everything through you. You got radiation. My heart rate monitor went down from a rad hit because we were actually in a high radiation portion of the orbit. And it's just like, whatever, that is our destiny to go out and explore among the stars, and we're just going to proceed with caution.
That is
What a horrible sentence.
Dude, that's that Lovecraftian. It's why humans
Yeah.
have a problem with Lovecraftian horror is this idea of, okay, when I look
Beyond
out
our
in the vast,
comprehension.
Yeah, and that is the thing. It's like you look out space and you're like, holy shit, I see nothing. And you're like, okay, that's just our yes, the universe and everything, but you're not seeing that. You're seeing maybe the Milky Way, and even then you're not seeing much of that.
I also love that, like, not that you meant it this way, but just like, yeah, I've asked other astronauts. It's a small club.
Well, I hope it's not for long.
Yeah.
I don't like any of the, you're lucky enough to get struck by lightning to be an astronaut. Like, that's what I love about why all these incredibly rich people are allocating their resources to give a capability for the benefit of all humankind, which is we are destined to go out and explore. We have to. Like, our star at some point is going to gobble us up. The dinosaurs aren't around for a reason. It'd be cool if they were. Maybe with some of these cool science projects that some of these people are funding, because that would make the world a more interesting place too, if there was T-Rexes running around. But
Say your next move. Can you do Jurassic Park?
no, I am rooting on some of these people because I think it will bring us as a species together.
You have the
better.
jets. Start Jurassic Park.
I have an embarrassing story about
I want to
this.
hear this. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever told this anywhere.
I'm here for it.
When I was in 5th grade, I was one of those like really just autistic focused kids that just like, Jurassic Park was like my thing. I wrote a letter to President Bush to ask for funding for a Jurassic Park program.
Nice.
Because I was super about it. Like, that was just my thing. I'm like, I watched the fucking movies. I read a book that was basically like, this is how you would do it. I talked to companies that were doing like genetic sequencing, all the machines and whatnot, like acquiring of the fossils, genetic deterioration. Like, I went on a deep dive at 9 years old. I was just like, basically got a return letter back from the president that was like, stay in school. Yeah. It was one of those kind of things.
Now we have Jurassic Park.
No, this isn't for me, but there's enough people. There's people working on bringing the mammoth back, and it's like, why stop there?
We got the dire wolves.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Dire wolves, mammoth, T-Rex. World would be more interesting. I bet it would bring humankind way closer, right?
I'm just going to bully you into making raptors now.
Yeah.
Clever girl.
But these are all the good reasons why we inevitably have to press out. And that doesn't mean Mars is going to be our infinite home. It's going to suck at Mars for a really long time. But it's a stepping stone to go out and like it's humankind's greatest adventure. I mean, I have memories of being in like geography class in like 6th grade, like, well, everybody figured it all out. I mean, they found every island, they climbed every mountain. Like, what is there? Oh no, that journey is nothing, pales in comparison to what's out there, and we're just getting started.
That's a lot of people don't. Every time mankind looks at it as, okay, we've discovered everything. It was first, here's the continent. Okay, hey, now we have the world. Okay, it's flat. Okay, now we have, oh, holy shit, we're a heliocentric solar system model. It's
there
not
he goes
everyone.
again,
Dude,
using
you're
those big
studied on
words.
this, man.
This is
Yeah.
my fucking.
You weren't joking. This is
my
really your
tism,
thing.
dude.
Yeah.
This is the shit I'm never going to talk about. So it is like, okay, we're heliocentric, but until then, it's not known. And then the Earth was the center, and everything revolved around that. And now you're like, solar system, and holy shit. Okay, now we have. Proxima Centauri? That's our closest star, but that's like 3 light years
I think
away.
4 light years is our closest star.
And that is traveling the speed of light. It's going to take 4 years, but everything we watch there is 4 years in the past, and anything they watch.
Yeah.
Dude, this is.
It's
But
it's cool
it is
stuff,
always a global scale until we're at, okay, we have now conquered this galaxy, and then that is just the Milky Way.
It's going to be the
That's
next
it.
big thing, like, because it's that it's almost like that steampunk era, where like we were right on the cusp of a lot of like modern technology when it comes to machinery and stuff like that. We just didn't know, like, there's a million different ways to do it, and we were trying to figure out how. I feel like that's how early space travel is going to be.
Oh, 100. I mean, like, look, we are. I feel like, all right, if the Apollo program was probably in the kind of grand scheme of not even our galaxy, just our solar system, was like I don't know, ancient tribes hollowing out a log and sailing across maybe a decent lake. Like, that's really, I mean, and imagine when they saw like, the first, like, I don't know, man of war ship with like tons of sails and masts, and they were like, wow, I couldn't even envision what this would look like when I was hollowing out my log, right? Like, that's where we're at right now. Like, and that's also part of the reason, again, like going down the nuclear propulsion path is like, sure, I mean, 4 light years away is pretty damn far. Like, if we are going to really consider any serious exploration beyond Mars, You know, I mean, our solar system, let alone the galaxy around us, like we're going to have to go farther than chemical propulsion because even Raptors on Starship, fully refueled in low Earth orbit is a great one way where you want to go. Like you still got to come back. So that puts the obligation on either mining propellant wherever you go, or you're going to need another form of propulsion that
may or may not exist.
Yeah, I mean, it's that's a lot of miracles that need to happen on any planet, including Mars. So
scale too. It's just like the sheer scale. I don't think a lot of people conceptualize that. It is the sheer scale of space is where it's lost. Like 4 light years. I can be like, Cody, 4 light years. Like, okay, traveling at the speed of light takes 4 years. It's like, okay, how fast can we go right now? What is the max speed mankind has done?
So we have objects, you know, like Voyager and then we have like Parker Solar Probe. They go very fast. You're still at like the fractions of a percent of the speed of light. I mean, fractions.
Voyager just left the solar system, a few years back, and that was for 40 years?
No, it was launched in like the 70s.
50, yeah, it was a long
time. So 50 years just to leave our solar system.
And it's small.
And we're not even outside the Oort cloud. Like, this is... And that's why these going to the next star, it's like, holy shit, how do we get closer
we need more
to
exotic.
light?
We need more exotic forms of propulsion. Start with nuclear. Start doing what industry can't. If the best and brightest can't work on this every day because there's no business model for it and it's dangerous. I mean, this is the equipment we use to build nuclear weapons. Let the government do it. Put the best and brightest on that, which when no one else is doing it, it's going to attract people who want to work on it. So like you kind of solve the talent problem. When the government is working on the same thing that Blue Origin and SpaceX and Rocket Lab, all these other guys are doing, you're going to go work there because it's probably a better quality of life. You can get stock options and everything. So work on what no one else is capable of, and then you build on that. So you start with nuclear electric, and who knows where that goes. But like we're going to go from that hollowed out log to the sailing ship to the ocean liner, and you know, try and avoid a couple Titanics along the way.
Why haven't they launched a nuclear spaceship?
So the Russians have put nuclear reactors in space. No one has done like a true NEP in space, done a nuclear electric propulsion demo. In the 1960s, we did play around with this stuff. Like this is like the golden age of nuclear. We could do whatever the hell you want. And we had programs like NERVA where we had what's called nuclear thermal propulsion. This is really exotic. It's a nuclear reactor where you spray hydrogen in it and it spews out a bunch of like radioactive exhaust that is very efficient and high thrust. 2 really good things in spaceflight engines. The downside is you're just contaminating everything. So we stopped doing that. But it's actually not that much better than what SpaceX and Blue Origin are working on. So what you do is nuclear electric, very low technical risk, highly efficient, not a lot of thrust, meaning you can move a lot of crap to Mars, just not very quickly. But it's a stepping stone to building even more exotic forms of propulsion.
No,
but no one's done it yet. But I guarantee you, if we don't, we're going to watch China do it, and then we're going to watch Russia do it.
It's funny though. You're talking about all these like giant problems, like there's the speed element to it and whatnot, like just how like far away all this stuff feels. You also have to remember that we were 66 years from 2 dipshits in North Carolina, 2 bicycle mechanics, flying something for a quarter of a minute.
Yeah,
just barely getting something off the ground to literally landing on the moon.
Right, brother.
When you put it that way, it's like that's insane to me. It's just that jump in human technology is just incredible.
Well, it's like how fast does the what's the SR-71? You're looking
Mach
at
3 plus,
which is in kilometers per hour.
I mean 1900 miles an hour.
Yeah,
2000.
But what's crazy, Cody, is like now you have speed of light is 299,792,000 kilometers a second. And that's where you're like, okay, that's a fucking big, and you can never travel that speed because in physics. So you have
theoretically, we're not quite sure if it's possible, I guess.
Yeah, well,
no, I mean, certainly Einstein doesn't think you can exceed the speed of light. That's the cosmic speed limit. But
I'm really glad Jared explained that to me, like so thoroughly, because my monkey brain went to submarine have nuclear power. Why not put submarine in sky?
Yeah,
so you explained it perfectly well. So,
well, by the way, I mean, all these things you brought up. This like I get really charged up on this kind of stuff of like, man, we went from Kitty Hawk to putting astronauts on the moon. We built jet airplanes, then we built the SR-71. We did all these big, bold, badass, ambitious programs. You want to talk submarines? We figured out the atomic bomb in 1945. 6 years later, you lay the keel down on the Nautilus and you say, you know what? We're going to take this massive power. We're going to slow these neutrons down and make a nuclear reactor so we can basically stay under the water until we run out of food or something. And then we're going to go under the North Pole. Big, bold, badass endeavors, and we did them fast, right? And now you can measure almost any like really exciting project we try and take on as a nation against timelines of things we did in the past. From like Alan Shepard, don't know shit about going into space. It's just up and what goes up must come down, to landing on the moon, 8 years. Right. In the beginning of World War II, we had like 2 aircraft carriers. By the end of World War II, we built 125 of them, over a 4-year span of time. The first Ford class carrier was a 13-year project. Like, you can measure almost anything against the things that we did in the past. And we were able to do big, badass, bold things in very short periods of time with things we knew very little about, without all the computers and everything else. And now, in a lot of cases, we almost brainwashed ourselves, like 10-year program, 20-year program.
Is it all that yellow? Do you think that because of it, they added a lot of yellow and red tape? Because we've experienced it working with the government. Like, we've seen it, and that's what sucks. And do you think that chokes creativity and then technological advancement?
Well, I think also having a good competitor helps. Like, we had the Soviets. The Cold War was good because, like,
another Soviets got it.
But the thing is we got a better one right now. Honestly, like China is. I mean, they're way better. Like, they're moving incredibly fast on every important technological domain. They're doing it at like SpaceX speeds. It's scary because, like, this has real implications. There's how many people were alive where, like, at a time where there was really a question of whether or not the U.S. was the exclusive superpower. Where American excellence in anything we applied ourselves to was truly in question. That's real now. And if not, like, you're fooling yourself and thinking like, oh, they're a third world country. So wrong. I can't believe how many people are dismissive about
whether
China.
It's space or quantum computing. Like, it's all those things. Like, if you talk to anybody on the inside, like, they're very open about talking about, like, just this quiet Cold War that we're in with China, as far as just like who can continue to be the technological superpower on this stuff.
Yeah, they're doing it fast. They're willing to take risks. Like, they're not risk averse in the whole thing. And to your point, like, I think, like, you're like, well, what is the problem, right? Because, I mean, like, what's the cause? Because we can complain about it all day long. Like, there is a bureaucracy in some of this, for sure, that just, like, exists to serve itself and gets entrenched in the status quo. Congress can be guilty of that too. Like, well, I mean, even if it's for the good of the nation or whatnot, like, I got to care about what's happening in my particular part of the country, and that can be working against the good of the nation, which wasn't always necessarily the case. We used to have 7 different companies making fighter jets, so, like, you could have some winners and losers. Now you got 2 that basically figured out that if you just build a part in every congressional district, everybody's happy. Good luck going into this.
Yeah,
man.
Even just listening to General George and like, all his people just talk about that exact thing, where it's like, now, okay, you have all these oversight committees that they're looking out for the people in their district, and like it's engineered that way now.
Yep.
And that's just it's the antithesis of what makes America great.
Yeah.
It's like, we're supposed to, like, good ideas are supposed to rise to the top on merit alone, and
they choke it.
It becomes a game. It becomes a game.
It is throttling it and choking it, because we've got to watch it firsthand, and thankfully we knew the right people that they could undo stuff instantly. So it'd be like, you got to watch it, be like, okay, hey, it's set up for success. Just everyone good, and then it gets thrown, and then finally it's like, hey, they're fucking choking it. And like, hey, everyone, let them do them, and then success. Holy shit, that actually works. It's like, yeah, crazy. We've been doing this for a decade. At this point, we know what we're doing when it comes to social media and how to talk to people.
How painful is it to talk to people like us who know jack shit about space?
No, man, I love this stuff. I mean, this is like the coolest subject in the world. I mean, it's there's all the fun, peaceful side of it, which is great to talk about, and like, all the great reasons of what we find for the good of the world and all that. But then there's the serious side of, like, where high ground matters. We don't know what we're going to find out there that could shift the balance of power here on Earth, and I don't want to find that out the hard way. And yeah, we totally.
Scary sentence.
Yeah. It's like, I mean,
anything that can make it here, we have no fucking chance against. I will let anyone know that if they can make it here, we have no fucking.
Oh, that's actually a great lead in. All right.
0 fucking chance.
Aliens.
Yeah.
Oh, they have.
What's your thought?
I mean, I absolutely believe that there is life out there. I mean, just.
Do you think we've encountered it?
No.
Okay.
I don't. I mean, generally, like people, I don't think they're really good at keeping secrets. You keep secrets that are really good, that are important to the security of your nation, but like really bad ones or things that this juicy, they get out. Yeah. The cosmic speed limit is a big thing that prevents it. But here's what I think: like there's intelligent life and then there's life, and I think that generally people. When I talk to people like, do you think there's life out there? They're like, oh yeah, well there's 2 trillion galaxies and every one of those, galaxies got how many stars in it and how many stars are going to have some potential planet in a habitable zone. Yeah,
100 to 400 billion stars per galaxy.
Yeah. They're like, sure, it must be out there, right? What happens if you find, like NASA just announced that we have a strong indication of, form or microbial life on Mars, and if we can get those samples back, maybe it's conclusive. Okay, so it's Mars. What happens like Europa Clipper comes back and maybe has a similar evidence of a biosignature? It changes the game entirely from like, surely it must be out there somewhere to maybe it's everywhere. I mean, and that would be unbelievable because that would be a great thing for space exploration because, either a space economy is what's needed to fund an exciting future in space or the conclusive knowledge that there is life out there and the demand for that knowledge is going to be off the charts. Like it'd be the most fascinating thing and obviously the most consequential discovery in human history.
It's crazy.
Which Mars,
stuff.
When he said like Mars, they literally just announced that,
oh, yeah.
Hey, just so everyone knows, it's like, hey, it's not 100%, but it's like, hey, we have a possibility.
Yeah, they have a biosignature, and that if they can get those samples back and properly studied, maybe. And look, I think odds are good. I think odds are good if you get some samples back from Mars, you're going to prove that there was some microbial life at some point.
It's just so annoying because this is like the 8th time in like the last 10 years that they did something like that. They're like, by the way, life on Mars, and you read deeper, like, we think maybe for these reasons.
There's a lot of misinformation. Even the Goldilocks zone, you'll have Earth.
He knows
varied
he knows what he's talking about.
This motherfucker watched 2 documentaries and is trying to gaslight us.
Yeah.
Well, what is the Goldilocks zone?
Goldilocks zone is from us. It would be from Earth to Mars, essentially after Mars, and then it is give or take. But
a habitable zone for an exoplanet near a star. Like theoretically, like life could exist in that environment.
Yeah. So Earth, one of the things that people will say is like, oh, well, if it moved a couple of feet any which way, we would burn up or we wouldn't survive. That is horseshit. We move in elliptical cycle, and that is
shape or whatever.
Yeah, and we vary many fucking like thousands of miles when we go around.
Which, I mean, thank God it's not that delicate.
Yeah, and that's the Goldilocks zone. So it's like, hey, life can be sustained in this area. And then what type of planet is it? Is it Earth? Is it a super Earth? Because now mass is 2x. So like we would suck at a 2x.
He knows
planet.
What he's talking about.
Yeah.
He's good at this.
Bone density, you have because
I'm telling you,
even
2 documentaries.
Two. Yeah. That's it. But even like spacewalk, mankind
two times speed.
Yeah.
Mankind's not.
I
good.
watched him on the flight. He's not fooling. He's not
like,
fooling.
I gotta
anyone.
learn this. Yeah, mankind can't even do space. Like we're not.
Right.
Calcium bleeds out from bone density. Like you have so many issues just from a few months in space, dude. I watched so much.
You're just trying to impress the wizard, man.
No, dude. This is like, I love this shit.
This is another area I get charged about because like we are actually getting to the point where we will have the technology at least to get to Mars, and then coming back is a whole other damn thing. We talked about making your own propellant to come home, but now we're getting to the point where it's like humans a problem. Mm-hmm. 6 to 9 months, 9 months probably to get to Mars, then a bunch of time to get back, and 1/3 G. Like first you're in microgravity to get there, then 1/3 gravity on Mars. We don't know what that's going to do to you, and then come back home. You obviously want to come back to tell the story on this whole thing. And like, yeah, it screws you up. Bone density loss for sure. You can have all sorts of vestibular issues, like cardiovascular issues, like tons of problems. And then how do you fix them? Like we're not doing open heart surgery in space. We're not removing appendixes in space. We haven't done that kind of like surgery up there. And then obviously the radiation environment and whatnot. And then there's the psychology of it. Like people have cracked in space. I said it on like the Sean Ryan show. I think he made it a little bit more extreme. But yeah, people have tried to kill their whole crews in space. Like people have had breakdowns in space, highly screened individuals.
Wait, hold on. Pause.
Hold on. Back up.
Pause. This is.
That's real.
I did see
here.
that.
This is the short that goes viral.
Yeah, because I did see a little bit of you talking about that on show. Because I was going to ask about the Sean Ryan show. Because I got to see like a little bit of you talking about stuff like that, and that was one thing I wanted to cover.
Yeah,
that's such a. We don't think about that stuff.
It's very real, and I mean, look, there can be a lot of factors. People have like their hypotheses on this. Was it like, scientists who are really, plus not to mention you're graded up there under government programs. You screw up, you might cost you a future mission. Is that enough to want to take out all your buddies? But it's happened, and it's happened on the U.S. side and on the Soviet side. It happened at Mir. So it's not a one-time event.
But the post, the afterward, like the post-fight interview, what is usually the cause? What's the catalyst?
Well, they never, I mean, look, you don't know because it takes away from the hero image, but I'll tell you, like, you go back to like early shuttle days, somebody flew generally once, not more. That's not a broad categorization, I'm sure a lot, but like that usually was somewhat of an indicator that it didn't go great. But there were 100% somebody did go for the hatch in the shuttle once. That's why they put a lock on. That's why there's a lock on the Dragon capsule. And I say this because when you're in low Earth orbit, you're basically, if we had to come home in an emergency on Dragon, we're in the water in 90 minutes. I mean, you're on a 90-minute, orbital period. You come back, you're in the water at your helicopter ride from a DoorDash, burger and a pizza. So it's like not that big of a deal. If you're on the moon, 2.5 days, you come back, you got your burger and a pizza, and you look out the window on the space station or the Dragon. It's a big Earth. It's like there it is. I know what it looks like. It's home. And on Moon, it's the blue marble. It's gorgeous. So like your mind is like I'm not that far away. You're on Mars. It's just a tiny blue speck, and you could be over a year to come home. That's an environment where nothing we've done here on Earth. And all the credit to the analog astronauts, everybody, they lock themselves in these shipping containers and try and create these stressors, but you're still under Earth. You're still under 1G.
If I can throw a counter to that, just like a little devil's advocate.
Please.
I mean, it's kind of, it reminds me a lot of like the early exploration, like of the New World. Like when people were first coming to America, where it's like, okay, that's a 3 to 6 month journey. You know, like it's completely, you're cut off from all of the old world that like all your family, the life that you knew, you're going into a completely new space.
I love this one because this comes up a lot.
Okay.
And it's like, but the thing is when you get to the new world, water's water, trees are trees, deer's deer, like,
Earth.
and if you work really hard, that's the other thing too, is like, what is the payback for this sacrifice in life? Like, I'm going to go out and hunt all these animals and sell the fur, and then I'm going to build a bigger house for my family, and then it's like generational. My grandkids are going to have a nicer house. It's not going to work that way there. Like, it is not, water's water is not the same. There's no, we don't have trees. You're going to live in a bubble, and you're going to work your ass off for your whole life to just survive. Every day will be miserable in that environment. You will never really feel good. Like you'll never really feel quite like you do under 1G, and you're not going to get out and be like, well, I've done well enough that I can build a bigger bubble with all these resources I've collected. So it's going to be tough as hell, and I think it's going to be like,
sure,
we're going to send missions there like we do to Antarctica, and these people are not going to be doing it for their own colonization purposes. They're going to do it for their nation, for what they may stand to learn. They're going to have a tour of duty, and they're going to come back home, and that's it. That's what it's going to be like for a while.
Yeah, because it's not like an environment where I guess no matter how comfy you get there, you were still genetically engineered through millions of years of evolution to like it here.
Yeah, to be able to at least get out and like catch fish. I just think that I think there's a really high probability if we don't get the right people on those first few missions, you're going to have like a Lord of the Flies event on Mars. Like will be people who will crack.
People turning on each other.
Yeah, it's going to just be ugly if you don't have it right. I mean, so the whole thing when people are like, yeah, sign me up for a one-way mission to Mars, it's like, the last person I'd want on my crew. Sorry. Like I want people who love life and want to get the mission done and come back home and see their family.
I want autistic people that are like, I am fine being by myself. Thank you. Yeah. And I'm like, cool, everyone do you. Well, this is going to be hyper successful.
There's those theories that's why Elon is doing the Optimus stuff, is so that you'd have like robotic drones essentially to be able to perform human tasks there without the
before
that
we
element.
get there.
Well, I think that, I just think the whole coming home part, it's very convenient. Like Elon seems to always be a couple steps ahead of everyone, which is without nuclear, there's no there is no game plan to get them home other than like setting up football field size solar panels to create the power, which is not great. There's going to be dust and stuff to create enough energy to mine propellant and turn it into liquid oxygen and liquid methane to come back home. And by the way, they have thousands of people at Starbase to do that under 1G in a normal atmosphere, and it's a lot of work. So the robots is an easy answer to it of like, yeah, sure, I'll just send a bunch of uncrewed missions and put 1,000 Optimus on it, and maybe that's gonna work. And that's good. Let them do that, and I feel like let the government do what no one else can do, is build some nuclear spaceships to help them out.
So let's say like, fictional reality, we can magically put a pump jack on Mars.
Okay.
Right? do we know that there are those resources there? Like, do we know the mineral composition of Mars, that there is any sort of propellant that's there that we could refine?
Yeah, I mean, we know enough about what is already on Mars and the physics behind it to make the propellant to come home. I mean, they were deliberate in picking, you need liquid oxygen, but they're deliberate in picking methane.
The hard part, though.
So you got a carbon-rich atmosphere, and you've got a CO2 atmosphere, and then you got ice. So they can make a lot with it. It just requires a ton of power to do it. And like, who's going out there mining it all? Like, again, it's robots the only answer. But again, I come back to get some nuclear spaceships up there and you don't have to put the whole burden on a SpaceX or a Blue Origin to solve all these problems. Like the government, $20 billion a year or $25 billion, depending on which budget lands. That's a lot of money. I mean, think of what startups can do with, $1 million bucks. Like we NASA can do a lot of great things with that budget to help enable commercial industry to do these things.
Dude, that is why. It's Brandon, as you were saying. It's like we evolved for like fucking 80,000 years of just Homo sapiens. Here we are, like to a T. And then the millions of years leading up to that, it is Earth gravity at 1x. That is the biggest thing. It's like, okay, when that shifts, what happens to human brains? Like, how am I reacting to this?
We haven't had the ability to shift just that element for a long time. Like, it's
ever. It's pretty like fucking ever.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
like
the
our
first time we're
grandparents'
like,
generation, pretty much.
yeah. And now you get to see the reaction of people breaking or, oh, look at all these problems that happen from space. How do we get past this? Also, you read Aurora. It talks about that. It's like sending a spaceship. It's a book. It's sci-fi, but it is the idea of like,
I love this episode of like Eli mansplains space to the astronaut.
No, it's a book. It's a book. It's a book.
I'm sitting over here having a good time. Yeah, like I'm having the best time ever.
I'm loving this episode. This is my camera's in this. I just never get to talk about this ever in my fucking life. Do I get to talk about
I told you this would be a fun episode.
I know. I never fought it.
That's why I'm not saying anything. I'm just like, I'm just watching you guys talk about space. It's
Well,
fucking awesome.
bring it back to guns. You know that at one point the Russians had a space station up there with a gun on it?
Yeah, so I do know at one point with all their astronauts, they kept a gun on all of their
On the
their
Soyuz,
shit.
yeah.
Because if they would land, they would have to defend themselves against bears.
Mm-hmm. It was 100% back because the so I just finished
like
it.
a gunpowder gun,
Like a gun,
an actual gun.
Not like a
Yeah.
space gun, but like a gun.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
shit.
I mean, first they actually did have a space station up, like one of their Salyuts that actually had like an integrated gun in it. I don't know what it was for or whatnot, but no doubt
there's questions there.
Soyuz, the Soyuz. Oh yeah, I mean, you talk about the weapons in space, rods from God, like that's
Dude, kinetic bombardment shit. Oh my
tungsten rods from space.
America was like, oh, this doesn't work really that efficiently.
God. Well, the hard part is getting them up there.
Yeah.
No, and then
Something
it's
that
the atmosphere is like, oh, this is actually a huge issue also. Getting up and then coming back down, it just is not efficient at all.
But you were totally spot on. So I read this book recently. It was pretty interesting, called "The Wrong Stuff." It just came out in, like, I think the last 2 years, and it's all about the Soviet program. During the early days of the space race, and man, they had issues. First handful of Soviet cosmonauts, when they came back, like Yuri Gagarin, he ejected out of his spaceship.
No shit.
He didn't land under a parachute. They kept that secret for decades. So yeah, Yuri Gagarin, obviously first man in space. Not only that, first man in orbit.
He didn't get your safety brief.
Well, I'll tell you what. I think he did, because he would have been impacting pretty impressively in that it wasn't Soyuz, the Vostok they were flying, but they had to eject, and for a while.
So they had to eject. Like, it was going to. They were going to fucking.
You're gonna die. They didn't figure out the parachutes under the spacecraft, so they all ejected. They kept it a secret for a while. Totally wild. It's actually why, like, they actually did a lot of skydiving training with their cosmonauts early days, and then when they did eventually figure out how to land in the spaceship, they'd land into the dirt. We landed generally in water because it was a little bit softer, and it was like, people describe it as a train wreck, and it wasn't accurate. So yeah, people like early cosmonauts would wind up like in the middle of Siberia, and they're getting like stalked by bears, and they needed guns.
Yeah,
it's a real deal. Yeah, totally.
Which I read.
Comrade, we land in dirt.
the Elon book that was written by Ashley Vance. It was like a biography thing that he basically talked about that in the early days of him going off and doing the things trying to figure out what he wanted to do and just all the different projects he was interested in. One of them was actually a space gun. Like he wanted to do like a laser rifle or like some sort of
cool.
Energy weapon or whatever. So Elon, I'm still interested in working with you on that. I think that would be fun.
It's still a wild idea to have a gun on the space station.
Well, I mean, for the Russians, it was just necessity.
Yeah, it's still a wild idea. It's like, yeah.
I wanted to
No
do a
one
video on
in
that
me.
for a while. Like with all the cool like gun stuff that was out there. There was some video game that came out that was like astronauts fighting, firearms in space.
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty did it, but there was one specifically that was just like straight up like astronaut kind of shit. But there, I mean, with all
Star
the different,
Wars.
well, God damn it, Eli. I wanted to do a video for a while that's like shooting guns, like actual,
Yeah, nail the physics of it, man. That'd be cool.
smokeless powder propellant in a vacuum where there's no oxygen to burn. Like whatever oxygen is just contained in the case, like see how guns operate. I think that's cool.
Well, there's no drop. That's dope. Bullets just going to keep going straight forever when
That's
you
also
don't have
great.
atmosphere.
It's also a great pun. That's dope.
Yeah.
Then it destroys the civilization like 1,000 years from now. You fired the gun in
fire one-
space.
Well, that's the whole thing.
"Oh,
Like,
missed." It just keeps.
yeah, accidentally start a war with a civilization trillion light years away.
Oh, so
Oh, fuck, man.
So this is cool. There is a meme, only like really crazy nerds know this one, about starting a war with an ancient civilization.
Wait.
I think I know.
You know?
Yep.
Do you know?
The-
Starship?
No, I'm thinking
We're
something
talking about
different.
the manhole.
I'm thinking the manhole
Manhole.
cover.
Okay,
Yeah.
manhole cover. Okay, I was like, you have the
That's so few people like really know
don't
what
know
that's
ni-
behind all that.
Because of
But
Fat
Nick.
Electrician.
Yeah, Fat Electrician is the only reason we know about that.
Okay.
Because
there's some great memes of that, of like the invading alien species taken out by a manhole cover. It's like-
It was the fastest moving object ever
Yeah.
made by mankind.
I think they measured it in 2 frames.
I don't know.
Yeah, it might have been like one.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's gone. Uh-oh.
So that's what I'm saying. We got to get back to doing these big, bold, cool shit things again.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
Especially
like
with
launching
We come-
manhole covers with a nuclear bomb into space.
We've come for the one you call Acme Sewers.
Was that one of the Manhattan Project things? Is that what that was?
was
They were
testing
doing-
out in Nevada. Yeah.
Yeah.
The underground nuclear program
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
when we do all the cool, crazy stuff. And
Yeah.
also did not care about soldiers. We're like, okay, now walk towards the bomb.
But to be one of those guys, that's pretty. That's
Kinda
pretty. The videos that came out of that, come on,
Oh, dude.
Cold War shit's so cool.
Dude, what makes you most excited next in space exploration or just space in general?
I mean, look, we're going to get back to the moon. There's no question. And look, I wasn't alive for it. My kids weren't. I want to see this happen. And I don't want it to be a one and done, plant the flag, redo of Apollo. Like, let's have the ability to go to and from the moon with frequency and affordability. And let's set up a moon base. And let's figure out if there's a reason to stay for a while. Like, are we mining helium-3? Are we using it for fusion power here on Earth? That's cool. Or whatnot. And then move on. Because one thing I'll tell you, when Americans get back to the moon, it means either Blue Origin or SpaceX or both were successful with reusability of heavy lift launch vehicles. It's not like maybe. It has to happen. It's the only way to get the lander to the moon. And when they do, it means we will have the capability now to send that kind of mass towards Mars. And it was interesting, like during my Senate hearing too, and it was like everybody was so hard up. I mean, the Republicans and Democrats were so protective of Artemis and getting back to the moon, as if I wasn't. Like, what are you talking about? I love space. Of course I want to see Americans get back to the moon. Like,
They were like almost like attacking you over it?
100%, because they thought I was like this, even the Republicans, they thought I was like this, Elon pawn that only cares about Mars. Like, what Elon knows is that if you have the ability to get to Mars, you absolutely can get to the moon and damn near anywhere else you want to go in the solar system as well. So I was like, of course I want to get back to the moon. But if you can and when you can, it means that SpaceX or Blue Origin was successful, which means in parallel, you've now developed a heavy lift capability to send mass that matters to Mars. That's pretty damn awesome.
So fucking dope.
It's like that was what, I don't know, I guess drove me crazy a little bit about all of your Senate confirmation, everything like that. Because like you, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, for whatever it's worth, would have been the most overqualified head of NASA since the organization was made.
You're being generous. There's a lot of smart people that like way smarter than me that could run NASA, but I was honored to have a shot.
I'm excited to see what you do going forward, whether it's with NASA or whatever you end up doing. I mean, you're relative compared to your accomplishments. You're a relatively young guy. I think you got some cool stuff in store, and I'm just excited to see what that turns into.
I appreciate it. So, thank you. But yeah, all good.
You think Elon's just trying to get to the moon?
No, I mean, he very much like that. That criticism was kind of somewhat rightful that he does have I mean, basically at SpaceX, almost everything they put investment or research dollars into, the question is, does this help us get to Mars? But it's not, it's with the idea that if you can do that, then you can also go to the moon and everywhere else. It's kind of thinking, you know what it's like? It's like, I use this example a lot because there was recently a hearing where they brought in some former NASA administrators to talk about the current construct to get back to the moon with Blue Origin or SpaceX using rockets that have to refuel in low Earth orbit. And they were all like, it's a terrible idea. We should just go to the moon like we did the Apollo program, which is a single rocket that does everything. And that would be the equivalent in the 1950s of like, it was like, well, we need to be able to have bombers that can go hit Russia. Well, just make the bomber way bigger then. Make it so big it has all the gas. Or someone's like, I got a great idea. What if we make it so we can refuel our planes in the air and then we can literally send them wherever we want? It doesn't just have to be, Russia. We could send them anywhere. They could fly around the world 10 times if we want. Sounds like a good idea. That's what that's what your nation's brightest minds, some of the wealthiest individuals who found a lot of success that said, you know what? I'm going to put all my money into this idea that we can do basically air-to-air refueling in low Earth orbit and send our spaceships anywhere. And the government's mindset is like, nah, just build it bigger so it can only go to the moon instead of being able to use it everywhere. It was like, so yeah, that's where he cares a lot about Mars because he knows for the good of humankind, we need to become a multiplanetary species. But he also knows if I can do Mars, moon's just a walk in the park.
I'm going to,
hear me out, my theory, real quick. Have you seen Django Unchained?
Where is this going?
Yeah. One time, a while ago, yeah.
Okay,
I'm nervous, Cody. Where's this going?
When you go,
Who's that Picklewood boy?
okay, we're not going that
This was a
direction.
fun show.
Who's that Peckerwood that blows the glass?
Jerry, you mean Jerry? Okay, so when you go to a man, you want to buy the horse. You don't try to buy the horse. You try to buy the farm, and then he'll sell you the horse. So I'm thinking that in like Elon's like analogy there, like he wants to go to Mars, but maybe the government will let him go to the moon. You know what I'm saying?
I think I think really like, look, the moon has no atmosphere. There's no protection from solar radiation. It looks pretty ugly. I mean, it gets hit by meteorites all the damn time. Like you wouldn't want to be there like that. Like Mars is a planet. It's a real planet, not a moon. It's got an atmosphere. He knows that's the best. It's not a great option, but it's our best option for an outpost as a stepping stone to go even farther. But he also knows if I can build a vehicle that can go to another planet, I sure as hell can go to back to the moon. And it's not a binary thing. It's not one or the other. Like the capability enables a lot. And Blue Origin's exactly, that's what it's a good idea because Blue Origin's ability to send their lander to the moon also requires doing the same thing of refueling in low Earth orbit. So it's absolutely the right call. But what's the ultimate prize? The ultimate prize is to go where we've never been, a planet other than our own.
Wow. Even seeing the like Mars, the rover, like watching that the first time, you're like, holy shit. And then watching it.
My battery's low and it's getting dark.
It did not. It lasted a good time, but they were like, "Oh, we did not compensate for a lot of this shit. The wheels broke down. There was a lot of issues with it going." They're like, okay,
poor Clanka.
$1 billion rovers, man. They did pretty well, I guess, for the money.
That one gets the soft A. But no, I just as a Star Wars nerd, clearly, I mean, you got a soft spot in your heart, as you know, I do, obviously. But the thing that you keep mentioning is like just the refueling in space, and just like the thing that comes to my mind is like Star Wars Episode 2, where they have like the starfighter thing that it just docks into, and like that does the interstellar travel. And then the starfighter will break off, like the thing Obi-Wan was in.
Yeah.
Like that to me, that seems like it makes sense, especially when you're talking about like nuclear stuff.
100%. So actually, that's exactly what people should envision of a nuclear tug. Just sounds like less exciting, so that's why I call it a nuclear spaceship. But it's like a railroad track from low Earth orbit to the moon or Mars, and it's just this nuclear train that goes back and forth. Like here, Bozeman, there's lots of train tracks around. It's like, if you got to send a letter next day air, you just can go on like a FedEx plane or something. But if you have to send a ton of like coal or iron or something, put it on a train. It's really efficient. May not be the fastest way to go. That's how you should think nuclear spaceships, and you should totally think of it like a tug. Whereas you might contract with SpaceX or somebody to put, I don't know, basically this equivalent, these materials to build a city on Mars, for example, into low Earth orbit, and then it docks with a nuclear space tug, if you will, or a nuclear railroad track, and it sends it, and it might take like 18 months instead of 9 months, but it's so much more efficient to get there, and then it can come back, and you don't have to keep refueling it.
So you have two separate vehicles for so you got an atmosphere breaker, and then you have what takes you the rest of the way.
Yeah, fight gravity to get to low Earth orbit, hand it off, then let it come back, land, do another mission up into space, and then let the highly efficient nuclear railroad take all that mass to Mars.
Save all the energy.
Yeah, there's no we 100% should be doing it, because I mean it has a lot of applications when in space just besides that, and the bad guys are going to wind up doing it if we don't.
Yeah. So we want to be the ferryman, instead of China or Russia or somebody like that.
Yeah, it's not just. I mean, like if you have a lot of power, you can make things with lasers and stuff, and you don't want. You want us to figure that out first.
Fair enough.
It's our toll roll. That's wild. God dang.
God, that's crazy stuff. This shit's scary. It's a wild. I mean, obvious. Not to state the obvious, but it's a wild new frontier.
Yeah, but exciting. Because it is a new frontier that we get to, go out and explore and do these things in. But yeah, we can't lose. Our skills can't be atrophying right now. A lot of even the best people, not the bureaucracy, that want to do good things have scar tissue, right? Skills atrophied from just being told no for too long, or feeling defeated from trying to do awesome things and being, stepped on or whatnot. And we can't be in that state while the other guys are like full steam ahead.
That's the leadership that's why, as Brandon was saying, it would be awesome to see you in that leadership position, because you have that exact mindset, and then your employees will also know. It's like, boss wants us to keep kicking ass and thinking outside the box.
Because you don't even seem to be like a partisan guy. You're just like, space. I like space. I want us to win at space. And that's exactly who we need in those leadership roles for space.
Yeah, I mean, I want America to win in space. I mean, they inspired generations to do even cooler things because of what the pioneers in the 1960s accomplished, and even the shuttle guys did in the 70s and 80s. And yeah, I want America to lead in the ultimate high ground of space and ensure that, that domain is safe for all sorts of science and discovery and all the exciting things to follow. That's what I'd love to see happen.
Before we close this out, what is one of your favorite sci-fi other than Star Wars?
Okay, it's Battlestar Galactica, hands down. I mean, look, it's honestly, it's better than all the.
That was so
Dude,
fast.
It is so quick.
Done on this.
Well, I mean, we got fighter jets, we got Top Gun in there, we got the Vipers. There's tons of dogfighting with the Cylons. We got Terminator in there. They're robots that try and exterminate humans, and we got spaceships. The only thing it doesn't have is a lightsaber. Other than that, I mean, it really checks all the boxes.
I love it. That was the fastest.
Where are you guys
answer.
at? Where are you guys at on this one?
Shows?
You can't pick
movies?
Star Wars or Star Trek. It's
Starship Troopers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's my favorite bad film.
Yeah.
It's
I can
objectively
see that.
just a shit film. I'm sorry if that pisses people off. It's not a good movie, but it's one of my favorites. I watch it at least once a year. That's
a fine answer.
I have a Merida assault rifle from the movie.
Okay.
Like an actual film used prop.
I gotta look it up.
3-body problem.
Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, good choice. That's
anime.
that's a really good choice.
3-body problem. I mean, you're leaning into this, dude. Like you're really like an academic in this whole thing.
I got Cody on the 3-body problem too.
Yeah.
I can't wait for this next season.
Yeah. You read the books?
No, I just really dig the Netflix, and it's a horrible admission. I haven't, but I like a lot of the nonfiction. But
good choice. Holy shit, dude. Where first off, before we close, and where do we find you? Like social media?
I'm pretty much on just X weighing in on things I shouldn't.
Well, what do you want to push though? You help so many charities. You help nonprofit.
I can also do that a little bit too. Like you have a Netflix miniseries.
What?
From the first mission, yeah. It's less space techie things, but more like humans and such going to space was cool. But,
I'm not that interesting.
Yeah. Not,
Yeah. What was that called again?
Countdown. Yeah, it was called Countdown. It was on Netflix. But yeah, it was just really cool. We had a very inspiring crew for inspiration for. And then in terms of the things that I care a lot about, that whole documentary and everything really about the mission was raising $250 million for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Yeah, that to me is just absolutely like the worst thing in the world. Like when we're doing all these amazing things, we're flying in fighter jets, we're sending people up into space, we're going to go to the moon and Mars, and yet some kids just get dealt this absolutely hand in life. You know, they don't even live to be teenage. I absolutely, I can't stand it. So they have like SpaceX's vision is the world is a more interesting place when people can journey among the stars. And then you got St. Jude's mission vision, which is no child should die in the dawn of life. I subscribe to both 100%.
And you love that, the people that are all, well, we have enough problems here. It's like, well, you can do both.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
$250 million fucking dollars to help kids with sickness. Like that's incredible. It's awesome.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah. And Elon was $55 million of that too for all the half the people out there don't know the heart and the guys got, but $55 million to defeat childhood cancer is pretty good.
Yeah, that's his stuff. I mean, you're going to see all of us. That's all, like, we give, being able to raise money and then donate. Like we do 2 times a year. It's all profits we will make off of merch or whatever that month we donate.
Oh, that's
like,
awesome,
hey, we're
guys.
not
Thank
taking
you.
a fucking dime for this. This is going for autism, special needs, and then veterans. And then St. Jude's we've helped in the past where it's like, hey, like.
There's a lot of good causes out there. And we absolutely can do both. It's not binary thinking on this whole thing. So
Stop being such a good human. We hate that so much.
This is, we can't thank you enough for coming on, man. This
No,
has been incredible.
thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Holy shit, dude. This has been an amazing podcast. And thank you again for the amazing day also, lending your jets and time in the air with your crew.
We love doing this, and we owe you a flight tomorrow. So we'll get it done.
Pussy.
Cody, close it out, you beautiful son of a bitch.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for joining the Unsubscribed podcast. I was joined today by Eli Doubletap, Jared Issacman, Brandon Herrera, myself, Donald Operator. Thank you so much for being here.
We love you. See you next
I'm
time.
gonna go pick up that water bottle now.
Kisses.
Thanks, guys.